Aegis positions on a rope bridge concealed within the cave's darkness, and several foot soldiers charged forward. But thinking quickly, Kitlin was able to shoot one of the ropes, suspending the bridge, causing the archers to tumble into the now rushing wave, crashing into
Yeah.
the party, sweeping everyone out of the cave, except for Staris and Bernie, who had preoccupied themselves with calming the warg beasts that had been mistreated. After a brief skirmish, the goblins were slain, and the wargs were not only calmed, but freed. Taking a moment to treat your wounds, the party took a short rest in the kennel where the wargs had been kept. Once the rest was complete, Caitlin scouted ahead by climbing through a hole in the ceiling that had been used as a trash chute to dump rather a large pile of refuse and rubbish into the kennel. The gnome discovered a much larger chamber sitting above their own, illuminated by a small fire. Caitlin could see a larger, healthy looking warg resting near the flames, as well as another large creature, a fur covered goblinoid, a bugbear, in a heated conversation with a thin, pale elf with long, straight white hair.
Mhm.
The elf was chastising the goblin, demanding that his king surrender his prey to the pale spider or else suffer the consequences. And that's when the elf noticed Kitland and demanded Claw, the bugbear, to dispatch the intruders. Kitland was able to get a single shot off before leaping back through the hole to where his friends were waiting. The bugbear pursued, and his pet warg, aptly named Ripper, gave chase. Claw was an intimidating foe, but despite his ferocity and strength, he found himself outnumbered and outmatched. The group was able to slay Claw and spared Ripper, feeling sympathetic to the mistreatment of the beast. With the threat seemingly over, the party delved even further into the cavern. Dominic took the lead and ignited a torch. He investigated another passageway on the western side of the cavern, and he approached with caution, and he could hear the sound of several hushed voices talking further within. Not eager for another fight, you all kind of hesitated on how to proceed. You hadn't yet found Gundren, but how many more creatures could you continue to fight? As you planned your next move, a goblin made himself seen and addressed you in the common tongue. Unless the thing you touch lightly wishes to pay. Master was a slightly more well-groomed goblin by the name of Yemik. He wore finer clothes, more ornate jewelry, and wielded a sturdier blade than the rest. Yemik had a prisoner with him, badly beaten and an inch from death. The prisoner was an older human male wearing the colors of a lord but built like a soldier. Yemek held the dagger to the prisoner's throat and offered to release the captive in exchange for the party leaving the cavern and letting Yemek and his men live. With Claw out of the way, Yemek now had an opportunity to become the new goblin boss. Dominic, you agreed to the goblin's terms, and you left with the barely breathing prisoner. You guys made your way back through the woods and down to the Tribord Trail, where you had been ambushed just the previous day by these same goblins. With the creatures behind you and a clear spot to rest a moment and catch your breath, you all turned your attention to the man that you had saved, this stranger. Kitlin pulled out the health potion he had received earlier that day, and he helped the man drink the entire solution within. He wakes, looking at him in the darkness. Does anyone have a light source present, or are you all just kind of huddled in the dark, using that as a blanket to kind of mask where you are?
Uh,
I could see just fine, but yeah,
I
you guys
can.
might want one.
Sure. The stars throws out some dancing lights.
Okay. You can
And
now see this man. Sorry, go ahead.
well, just right before we had finished last time, I did give the guy my healing potion that I got from.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right. So you've just finished pouring this down his mouth, and he was like barely breathing, incoherent, unconscious. And as you finish helping him drink it, he just like exhales and like lurches forward. And as Staris lights kind of illuminates the area around you with her dancing light spell, you can now see this man fully. He's an older human male, um, probably 50s or 60s. He wears just like rags, shirtless, with like just the tiniest remnants of his trousers still left. They're torn at the knee and like held together by like a rope. You can see he's just bruised, open wounds that look festered. All of his ribs are badly bruised. His face was completely swollen
Hmm.
6 months ago. Like his eyes was swollen shut, his lip was cracked, just caked in bruises, blood, and mud. And as he finished drinks the potion, you can see the eye just like smooth out as the giant, all the bruising and the swelling is reduced, and his throat clears, and he catches his breath. You
As
just see
he
him kind of open
as he sits
his,
up, I'm
and
gonna kind of down on one knee and put my hand on his chest and be like, "Hey, hold, you badly injured friend. Just you're okay."
he he winces as you touch him, even though you're just barely touching him. He still winces and he goes, I, I'm quite aware of how injured I am, but I'm semi-conscious for the first time in what feels like days, so believe me when I say it's an improvement.
Hmm.
Ah,
Heard-
From the looks of it, yes, it is an improvement. You're what happened?
How long were you in there?
You're not a dwarf.
Hey, he's not.
Good eye,
he
Koo.
kind of chuckles and winces as he does so at your little jab, um, and just takes you all in for a second, lets your question sink over, kind of nods his head. No, I'm not a dwarf, as you so oh, acutely pointed out. I lost count. It was hard to tell the difference between day and night in those caves, but I imagine 4, maybe 5 days. No.
Hmm.
How long
Um,
ago did we leave out before Gundrig?
um, you all met him like a few days before, or I'm sorry, about a week before, and he said he was like taking off in the next few days. So
Mm-hmm.
with like the days to travel and everything, it kind of times out.
Okay.
Um,
What's your name there,
and
friend?
looks at you all. Since you aren't goblins, I can only assume that you all have something to do with saving my life. So yeah, I think you've earned that. Hallwinter, Sildar Hallwinter, at your service. Um, you aren't goblins, I see, and that's once again an improvement for me.
Far from it.
Mr. Hallwinter, do you know
Hawthorne.
the
Sorry, I misspoke.
Hawthorne?
Hawthorne.
Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Hawthorne.
Everyone is named Winter in this module, and it's stupid because that's the name of the cave. So I changed it to Hawthorne.
All right, Hawthorne. All right, Mr. Hawthorne, do you know Gundred by chance?
Mm. Yes, yes. In fact, I do. How do you know Gundren?
We were hired by him to bring supplies to town and then meet up with him.
Ah,
Unfortunately, we never met up with him.
no, I'm afraid you wouldn't have. Oh, God's bless Gundren. Always thinking a few steps ahead. He did damn well to hire you all. Um, no, I'm afraid Gundren was taken to a different location. We traveled together. Uh, we're near Delverton when we were ambushed by several goblins. We barely saw them. Uh, Everything happened so fast, and the last thing I remember was losing consciousness, seeing my horse slain on top of me, and Gundren likewise pinned by his pony. Um,
But
I woke up in the cave, but I never saw Gundren after that.
Hmm.
you think he's still alive, though?
I didn't get much information from the goblins, but I did hear some things. I think he
He's
might
wanting me
be.
to buy this thing.
It
What kept
seems
you
that,
alive?
well, and he like kind of like winces again and holds his side, and you can see where parts of his back and the side of his ribs have been flayed.
Hmm.
Oof. Mm.
Uh,
Bernie's going to see this
They
and quickly kind of put her hands into her bag and pull out a few herbs from her herbal kit that have some sort of soothing component to them. And I'm just going to walk over and kind of hold my hands out. I can see that that's probably pretty painful. Can I assist you here?
I would happily take any healing your generous hands could offer.
And she just kind of grabs a rock and smushes some herbs together. I'm just going to attempt to make like a very simple salve, if I can, with the herbs that I have,
Okay,
and kind of start softly applying them
cool.
to flayed skin.
Yeah, roll me a nature check as you start doing that. And he kind of like leans over on like a
Mm.
fallen tree, like away from you so you can kind of work on it and continues to talk to you, Stars. He says, "They did not keep me alive, miss. I managed quite narrowly to survive."
And you
You
did
must be very
mm,
strong.
you did very well to stay alive this long. Hitland, do you think we can possibly get him on Bernie or on not Bernie on
Excuse me.
Bernie? Do you want to carry him? Um,
I'm strong, but I'm not
Um,
that strong.
Pamela!
on
Pamela!
Pamela.
I was thinking Susan. I'm like, that's not it.
That's not right either. Do you think? I mean, I know you've ridden on Pamela before, but it was very touch and go with you even getting on her. But I don't think us taking turns carrying Mr. Hawthorne back is going to be great for us.
We can certainly give it a try. Here, Pamela.
Sildar, was it?
um,
Why am I going British? Don't
Hilda,
go British.
that's correct.
Don't go
Um,
British.
Damn it. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
think I
try
have something to
to.
help too.
Bernie, as you're kind of collecting some ingredients and trying to make this salve, so I'll say with a seven, you don't like hurt him or do anything bad by rolling low, but I'll say with a seven, um, what you make is like it's soothing and it will like stop the infection. It's very simple,
Mhm.
but otherwise it's not gonna um like he needs some like serious healing uh
Yeah.
or 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 just time to rest, but this will at least kind of, it's like cooling, it's like a lot of mud and like these like kind of herbs that like will kind of like the coolness of it will help with some of the pain and just the general aches
Mhm.
and just stop the spread of infection. um
Okay. Yeah, I very gently
Right.
kind of
You
pat it pat it onto his back. This won't really be a permanent fix. We're going to have to get him to some sort of doctor in the town.
Well, I was going to ask. I'm I already owe all of you my life. Do you think it would be possible to help me get back to Delverton.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Of
I
course,
think we would
we
have headed
need to
that way anyways.
check back in with Elmira anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
Even
to
though
coax Pamela over.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cyrus.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Easy enough to do. She's kind of found a spot to like. She's like patted out some taller grass and is like, she's tired. It's late. She's basically just trying to go to sleep. So I think it takes a little bit of like coaxing to get her up. But she's listening to you and easy enough to control at this point. Um, as 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 Kitlin's doing that, and you kind of finish applying the salve, Bernie, Sildar kind of looks at all of you and he says, "I hope you don't mind me asking. As I said, I haven't been very conscious of late. What happened to the goblins that were holding me prisoner in the cavern that you saved me from?"
The
we killed
ones that
some of them.
we killed some of them. We killed a bugbear, and the ones that were holding on to you, I parlayed with to get you out of their clutches.
Interesting. Well, it's clever. Not many people get away from with bargaining with goblins.
Well, that's another reason I don't want to stick around any longer than we have to.
All right.
Yeah. They'll probably use this opportunity to loot what they can. I imagine they'll be out by morning, tomorrow afternoon at the latest. It's almost a shame letting them get away, but I think we have more pressing matters ahead of us.
Aye, and I don't think that you can make this journey on your own. You're going to need some assistance. Otherwise, we would go back for the buggers.
Well, again, I am indebted to you. We should. How far is it from Delverton to Delverton from here?
Is it a day and a half ride, possibly?
It's about a half-day ride, but you get the sense with traveling with a wounded person, it might take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So,
See if I can help you a little bit
Dominic,
more.
you're probably
Oh.
guesstimating like 6, 7 hours, and it's about 11 o'clock at night right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Healing
Nice.
Ah.
Do you,
Nice.
Cyrus? Let me ask you something, Cyrus.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to apply this healing in the same spot where Bernie was trying to help, or do you want to address like a different injury that he sustained?
I think
He
just
has
all over
several
healing.
gashes and like wounds. He has roll me a medicine check with this healing.
Oh, okay. 8.
Okay. Yeah, he's battered all over. So yeah, so like how does your spell heal him?
Yeah. So basically with the sound of her voice, I think that is soothes whoever is getting healed, and they're just kind of filled with comfort and relaxation.
Hmm.
So kind of
Okay,
just like a
cool.
warmth that goes all over.
Awesome. You see that like as you kind of start to like play and sing this like healing, soothing melody, it almost acts as like a lullaby, and you see him starting to get kind of a little bit sleepy. And honestly, that's probably the best thing for him right now is just rest, and time. And as he gets sleepy and you start to feel him relax and get less tense, um, he he kind of just like leans up against the tree he's sitting on and says, "Well, if it's that far to Devilton, we can either rest here or try and march through the night, but I imagine you all are a little worn out as well from the earlier skirmish.
Hmm.
I'll leave it up to you.
I don't feel comfortable sleeping this close to those goblins. I'd like to at least make it a ways.
I mean,
I'm gonna
if
try to
Agreed.
just pull Pamela by the reins a little bit closer to just smell Hawthorne and
Mm-hmm.
try to get like familiar with him and be like petting her nose.
Cool.
Get her the
Yeah,
idea.
no rules necessary.
Cool.
I think that's easy enough to do. And Pamela seems a pretty empathetic beast, and you see kind of like she's done with you in the past, where she starts to lick some of his wounds, like starts to lick his wrist a lot, and kind of cleaning up some of the blood on his arms and hand.
Yeah. Pamela, would it be all right if you carried this man back? We'll put him on you gently. Just no roughhousing. And I might look over to Dom for some help to actually probably Dom and Stars to lift this guy up onto Pamela's back. Bit of a reach for me. Would you guys mind?
No,
Yes, sir.
of course, anything.
No trouble.
Um,
And I'll just be
yeah,
petting
you guys.
Pamela's head while they're doing this, trying to keep her calm.
Yeah, you guys easy enough to do are able to get, and you see that Sildar, like as you start to help him up, and he realizes kind of like what the decision is. You see he helps you guys out a lot, and despite his injuries, and his age even, uh, you can tell that this individual has some toughness to them as they kind of try to do maybe a little bit more of the work than they should on their own. And you get them on, and you guys start to make your way down the trail. How far do you guys want to kind of journey before you start to rest? We'll say it hits about midnight now, and you can all kind of feel the weariness of like the earlier days battle, um, and just the injuries you've all sustained, the long day you've had in Delverton, and what you've learned and sussed out. And just the walk out here earlier today too. You guys have already walked the, you know,
Mhm.
however many miles it took to get out here.
Hmm.
So you start to
With
feel that weariness like right on you as it starts to hit about midnight. You've been walking for about an hour.
I think honestly, think probably just getting out of the forest will be our best bet. Getting into a clearing and then probably stopping for the night just to get some rest
Hmm.
would be
Okay.
our best plan. Because we're not going to make it tonight. That's just not happening.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And if we were to get ambushed in the middle of the
The
night, that'd be
Should
terrible.
we try to make it back to the spot where we got ambushed and just take the high ground so we can see anybody else coming our way?
that's
Maybe do a bit
So
you're
that's
kind
there.
of
where
just
we
left from
are.
there,
Yeah, that's where we are. That we ended up there.
Oh, okay. So we're walking an
or
hour from that
were
spot.
you yeah,
Correct.
correct.
Okay.
But there are like I mean the terrain is similar. So Dominic, you would know because you've kind of done this journey a couple of times now that like Delverton's a frontier town. It's out basically in the wilderness, and you're pretty much in the woods
Yeah.
the entire journey back to Delverton. But there are various changes in the terrain, much like the spot where you were ambushed, where you could try to maybe find a spot a little ways off the road that has an advantageous position
Yeah,
if you wanted to
that's what
not
I'm
do
gonna
the full
do.
journey tonight.
I think while we're traveling, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on like a kind of an alcove of some sort that is advantageous for us to watch. There's only one way in to where we are. We're covered by tree foliage, that kind of thing.
Okay. Mhm. Okay. Roll me we can say either a survival or a perception check. Do you have dark vision?
I do not. Would the dancing lights have been following us, or if they weren't going to follow us, I would have used a torch, because knowing that I don't have dark vision.
So, so let me back up. Are you guys traveling with a light source? Because I think dancing lights is a cantrip that stars could just like cast
Mhm.
over and over again.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
yeah, I
so.
mean,
That is up to Stars. Star, would you want to keep constantly casting dancing lights for us?
Of course.
Okay. So with that,
All right. Cool.
dancing lights would have been
So
going.
then make your roll. Just make a straight roll. You don't have to roll with disadvantage because you guys are kind of traveling with the light source.
Okay. You said survival or per our perception? No, they're about the same.
Either
So
or.
we'll go with this one.
Sarah starts playing like a little light show.
Natural 20 for a 24.
Oh,
Hey.
nice.
Hey!
Cool. So yeah, it's about midnight. You all start to feel that weariness taking its toll. You all start to kind of get tired and start to, get to that point where like, man, do I really have it in me to keep going? And start to feel exhaustion creeping in. Dominic, you're starting to keep an eye out. You know this is happening. You know it's probably smartest to rest. And as you like come around this curve, you see where like the trail like dips down and then like goes up really and then like dips back down again. And there's an area like right off to the side that is like almost imperceptible from where you are on the road, but you just happen to catch it. And you find a great spot where you think you would have not only a good advantage of the road, but be relatively hidden from sight, if
All
you
right.
would like to.
I'm gonna hold 1 second. I think I found something, and I'm gonna tell the rest of the group. I think this is gonna be our best bet for the night. This is. I barely saw this out of the corner of my eye. This is gonna be the best bet to protect ourselves until the sun comes up and we can continue moving forward. I think we're all exhausted.
Yes, that sounds good to me.
all right, yeah.
All right. I think we'll stop for the night.
Are there any like
Hmm.
big stony or rocky bits around us?
The whole terrain is pretty mountainous, so yeah, it's not hard to find like a giant boulder or
Okay,
like an
yeah.
outcropping or yeah, just like the general vicinity.
Yeah, I kind of want to go like hide in the rocks to sleep there.
Okay. Yeah, it's like maybe another 30, 40 feet away from the camp, but there's like
Okay,
a large boulder that you can kind of get under, and it has like a nice little hidden area that you being a gnome can easily squeeze into.
great. Uh, and then yeah, I guess before I go to that, like Pamela, stay with the group, stay with Hawthorne. Uh, then I'll go
No.
hide under a rock.
Okay.
I w-
Caleb stays under a rock.
I will ritual cast alarm around
Okay.
Nice.
wherever, yeah, Pamela and Hawthorne are. And yeah,
Cool.
after I
Cool.
walk
You
around
see
for a
that
minute.
like you see that like Sildar and Pamela, like when you finally find your spot, they kind of dismount, and Sildar just sort of like leans up against Pamela, and she also kind of just like leans into it, and yeah, he's like literally like sitting up like against her back as a backrest. So it's a very tight area, easy enough for you to cast your alarm spell around.
Cool, cool.
I will put my bedroll out by Pamela and kind of have Sildar lay on the bedroll instead of just leaning up against Pamela. Here, rest here, Sildar. You need this more than I do.
You know, I'd actually. Do you have an extra shirt? I'm getting a bit chilly.
Yes. Let me see. I have traveler's clothes, so I'll of course. Sorry, I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna pull the traveler's clothes out.
Uh, I was in and out there a little bit on the back of this very unique beast. How about about how far you think we traveled?
Possibly an hour, maybe a little bit longer. Not very far, but far enough away from the cave and the goblins for me to feel safe, at least.
Good, good. And how long have you all worked together?
A week?
6 days.
We're practically family
Really,
now,
a
though.
week.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Why did you not leave?
What do
After
you
the
mean?
job was done that Gungeon hired you for, you delivered the goods to Delverton. Your job was done. I'm assuming you were paid by the proprietor. I believe that was the arrangement. You could have left. But you didn't. You stayed. You came and saved me. Why?
Gundren knows something that we don't, and I want to know what Gundren knows about these mountains.
I
The-
expect Gungeon knows a lot of things that a lot of us don't know. It's his way.
To be fair, the townsfolk treated us extremely well, kept us safe, fed us, and it was only fair to do our part to try and help somebody who was in trouble.
Shame they're having a rough time of it too.
He holds your stare for a long time after you say that, Dominic. Roll me with advantage because you guys have all kind of gathered and shared and agreed with Dominic. Roll me a persuasion check with advantage, Dominic.
Okay. 15.
Okay. Smiles. Well, I think it's getting a little late. I'll probably get some rest. You all should do the same. I look forward to getting to Delverton. Then the real work begins. And he kind of like starts to lean back and close his eyes a little bit. And as you all kind of scatter and begin to set up your camp and go to your bedrolls, he grabs you like just by like a piece of your armor, Dominic, as you kind of get up, as you were sitting right next to him having this conversation. And he says, I didn't want to say this in front of the others, and I hope you don't mind me asking. But he points to the sigil of the lion
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of rusted and corroded and definitely old at this point, but still very unmistakably the sigil of a lion.
Mm-hmm.
That signia, the golden lions, that house hasn't existed since the Second Age? Yet you wear it.
Hmm.
I don't mean to pry. If you don't want to talk about it, I respect your wishes. I know my history well.
As Sildar says that, it's a very quick, wild look in Dominic's eyes, and he kind of steals it back, knowing he can't trust everything because they just met him. We've just met this guy. And he'll say, yes, and I wear it proudly, but we can talk more tomorrow. Get your rest, Sildar.
Indeed. Indeed. Good night, Dominic.
Good night. I think I feel safe enough for us to be here, and I'll talk to the group about this and say I don't think we need any watches tonight. I think we're far enough off the road, and I feel safe, especially with Ku's alarm spell out, that we should be safe to just forego the watch tonight and get some good rest. Does anybody disagree?
Sure, no, I think that sounds like a good idea. You could certainly use some rest too, Dominic. You got pretty beat up.
I did, especially early on. It was rough go there for a second. Yes, I can feel the weariness coming on for sure. As he just kind of rubs his brow. Well,
I think I'll meditate tonight and then just keep the wee hours for us.
Hmm.
I much appreciated, Star. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, and I'll keep watch too.
All right.
And I'll just kind of
Kitlin.
Dominic will
Fast
just kind
asleep
of post up
under the rock.
by a tree, kind of near the entrance of where we came in, and just kind of post up with my back up against a tree, trying to make sure that nothing comes through
You're
the hole.
sleeping, but you want to be. So you're sleeping, but you want to be in a spot where if something did come through, it would hit you first,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you all start to climb under your rocks and find your trees and grab your spots to begin resting for the night. Who you're staying up a little bit to watch, and Staris. We've had a couple of long rests, but we haven't really talked about this. Does Staris sleep?
She does sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Does she
You're right,
like
we
it?
haven't. Yeah, sleep is nice. Meditation's good too,
Yeah.
but if you want to like
Yeah.
have a focus, as it were. But yeah, she sleeps sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah, a privilege
Cool.
of the aristocracy.
Are you going to are you going to just meditate right away and then just wake up early and kind of watch over everyone else while they continue to sleep? Was that your plan?
Yes, that was the idea.
Okay, cool. So you all eventually drift off to sleep. As Ku, you stay up just a little bit later than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I'm thumbing through my books, because I don't remember writing some of this stuff.
Hmm.
You thumb through the pages of this green journal, notebook, sketch pad, diary, whatever you want to call it. This book you've kept. How long have you had this book?
Uh, well, yeah, since I got to Neverwinter proper, but some of the writings and collections I've had, yeah, since when I was still in the Dales.
Okay. So you have like loose pages kind of just shoved into this nicer leather-bound book that you were able to purchase once you got to the big city.
Correct.
And you pull some of those out and unfold them and look at them, and you just stare at this thing you created. This art, spell, language. It's hard to make sense of it. And the more you stare at it, the more mad it drives you because you can see the pattern, you just can't interpret it. Roll me just a straight intelligence check.
Nice.
15.
The words lost flash across the page, clear as day to you.
Hmm.
And you stop and you study it, and then it's gone. It's like an illusion you think you see through, and then it's back up again. And you put it back down, fold it back up, you thumb through a few more pages, take a few more notes of the things that you started to piece together, but the things that are still eluding you. Um, you spend maybe another 30, 40 minutes just kind of writing and thumbing through these old entries before. Um, how late did you want to stay up before taking your rest?
Uh, Just a couple hours.
Just a couple of hours. Roll me a
Yeah.
Constitution check.
Cool. Not a save, just Constitution.
Just a Constitution check.
Yep. Ooh.
Even like a dangerous thing. Save doesn't
Ooh.
feel appropriate.
Wow.
Oh.
You're tired, but you power through, and you continue to look for a few more hours. You don't get that same flash of insight that you got kind of at the beginning of the morning, but yeah, you just continue to write and read and ponder your journal. But it's maybe about 3, 4 o'clock. You start to see Staris kind of stir out of her meditation a little bit, Ku, and that's the
Mhm.
last thing you remember before your eyelids just get too heavy and eventually sleep takes you.
Blank.
Um,
I slumber.
Staris, you come out of your meditation. Um, is there anything you want to do before dawn?
Hmm. Kind of. Uh, Stars is feeling silly and wants to minor illusion different things on her sleeping companions just to amuse herself. Like a teddy
While they're
bear with
sleeping.
Dominic. Yeah. While they're sleeping.
That's great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Teddy bear with Dominic. Maybe give Bernie some wings just for fun. Give Pamela a nice little mustache.
Oh my goodness.
Just kind of trying some ideas out. Just, we haven't used this in a minute, so. But yeah, no,
Love
I think
it.
that's it.
Yeah. You just go around and very harmlessly, magically prank your. What are the components for that spell?
Oh, a bit of fleece.
Okay, so it's just material. There's no somatic or verbal,
Oh, there's somatic. No verbal.
but
Correct.
no verbal. That's the important one. You can do it
Yes.
silently. So yeah, everyone's like sleeping, uh, and you're just like waving your hands over their heads, and like little like arcane animals, or like you make like an arcane grasshopper like jump on Ku's nose and like jump off, and then yeah, you go to Bernie and give her like these huge bird wings at one point, and then you go to Kitlin and you give him like little butterfly wings. Um, as he's in his like little hidey hole rock. You give Sildar like a top hat and a monocle at one point. And
He
you
does
have
seem very dapper.
your very
Yeah.
very playful fun um uh as you kind of wait for dawn to come. Roll me a perception check, Stars, with disadvantage because you're very distracted.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's funny.
8.
Oh,
Dang it.
19.
I
Oh,
I
man.
know. So close.
I'm having too much fun.
Yep.
Bernie,
Mm.
while you sleep, you have an interesting dream. You are in a forest similar to the one you're traveling in now, but different. Not quite the same. The trees are different, the plants are different, and the sounds of all the animals around you are different. It's dark, there's no stars, no moon. You can barely see. You have dark vision as a dwarf, correct?
I do. 120 feet.
You can see around you, but it's dim. There's no light here, and the night seems misty. You can only see what feels like 5, 10 feet in front of you,
Mm.
and you can hear the sounds of howling and the faint sound of footsteps crunching the undergrowth. Several beasts all around you in the mist, stalking, hunting, lurking. And as you look all around, trying to figure out which way to go, where to reach out to pinpoint where any of these hunters are surrounding you, you see a light through the fog in the distance. What do you do?
Hmm. I think Bernie takes a deep breath, looks around. All right, feasties. You don't quite seem friendly, do you? And I don't have any rations on me to help you. I'm gonna look towards the light and slowly start to try and back out of the circle of the beasts and towards the light.
Or making your way to the light, not daring to go faster than a steady walk. You can hear the sound of the guttural growling and howling and deep breathing and salivating coming from the darkness all around you as you creep through this dark labyrinth of flora. The light in front of you is getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and you're so close as the growling's getting louder. It's like a drone. It's almost driving you mad, driving you primal with this like furious energy. And then you see the light in front of you, and it's a small bloom.
Huh.
It's a small bloom.
Do I recognize what kind of bloom it is?
You do. It is a bloom of Carrick.
Hi. You're beautiful. I know it's still in
It's
there somewhere.
it's
How can I
it's
help
almost
you?
like this lotus flower that's like fully bloomed and just emits this bright light that just envelops the area around you, and you can feel its warmth. And as you hover over it, it just slowly begins to dim.
No. I think Berenice reaches out, but she not only as she reaches out for the lotus, she also reaches inwards and tries to conjure some of her own light magic and pull that out and try and give it to the bloom.
You try to pour your own spell energy back into the light, and you feel it like surge with light, but then like as you pour that magic into it, it just drains that much faster, and you just feel yourself swallowed in darkness as the growling just surrounds you, and then you wake up.
Ah.
And it's
Do I
it
still
is
have
now
the...
dawn, and
Okay, sorry.
it is now dawn, and you have all completed your long rest.
Hmm.
Staris, despite being distracted, there was nothing that threatened you. Dominic found a good enough hiding spot. And what was your question, Bernie?
I was just going to say, as I wake, do I still have the illusory wings on my back?
How long does it last? Hang on a second. 1 minute. So no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Maybe there's a little tuft of fleece on you somewhere.
Bernie,
Little, little,
Ber-
there's like a little sheep's wool is like, yeah, caught in your mustache as you like are like breathing deeply and like you almost like breathe it in a little bit.
yeah. It like
Is that?
tickles my nose and I pull it off and I'm
Right,
like,
yeah,
oh, and I pocket it.
yeah, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, weird.
All right.
Weird. I roll.
Um, it was about midnight.
Hmm.
Um, when you guys stop for the night. Sunrise is we'll say like 6 a.m. ish. So yeah, it's a little after like 6 a.m. as you all kind of begin waking up, breaking down camp, excuse me, and like start preparing yourself to get back on the road roughly like an hour later, maybe make a little food, pull out some rations. Um, anything else you want to do to sort of prepare yourself for a few more hours of journey.
I'll
But
more than
otherwise,
likely I'll more than likely check with Sildar, see how he's doing in the morning. Sildar, how was your rest?
Well, I wasn't hung by my ankles from a stalactite, so Kingsley.
Are you able to walk, or
No,
your legs still a little wobbly?
no, I think I can manage. It's my. And he kind of winces as you like help him get up. He's like, "Oh, but I'm afraid my ribs are done for." And he kind of like you can see he's been holding his like left hand close to his side, and
Mhm.
he's like, I'm hoping the wrist is just sprained. Um, but luckily,
You had me in the
I
first
think I
time.
still have my legs underneath me.
Thank you.
And I'll give him some rations, some of my rations. I'm like, here, eat something. You need something to eat.
He takes it happily, thanks you for it. Is there anything I can do to help you all back up?
No, keep your rest. Keep yourself occupied, but not draining yourself. And we'll pack up and we'll get ready to leave soon.
When you get to be my age, you find it's rest is one of the hardest things to do. And he kind of like slaps your back and like walks ahead, and you see him like go and help like Bernie like pack up a few things from her kit, and just keeps himself active anyways.
And I'll just
And
kind
you
of
see
under
he's
my breath,
actively
kind of
trying
just
to aid.
under my breath, I'll just say stubborn old man, and I'll just continue doing what I'm doing.
Oh, you finish packing up and you're able to get back on the road. Stop me if there's anything you want to do. But it'll probably be, let's say, 6 a.m., maybe another 5 hours. So it'll be like just around noon as you guys get back to Delverton.
Is Hawthorne taking Pamela back, or is he walking?
He's walking, so you
Okay.
can have control of Pamela.
Cool.
He's a little slow, but it's not really slowing you down too much.
I'm gonna walk over to Staris and kind of sidle up beside her and walk in silence for a little bit beside her. And finally kind of clear my throat. Staris?
Bernie?
Yeah, you didn't happen to notice anything strange last night, did you?
Really?
No, no, scary type sounds or beasts or anything wandering around the camp.
Oh, no, I didn't hear anything of that like that.
Oh, that's good.
You
That's good
notice
to hear.
something?
I just strange dreams is all, but I imagine it's because we had such a busy day.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping watch.
Happily.
And then she's just gonna kind of fall back again into the rest of the group and walk quietly.
Very cool. I just ate hot pepper, so give me a second.
Oh no!
What did you eat?
Those pepperoncinis from our Papa John's.
Nice. Ah, delightful.
The first two were fine, but that third one got me.
Yeah, that one probably had all the seeds in it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Probably during our walk, I would have saddled up to Sildar and kind of stayed back with him, and I don't know, made some comment about, oh, Sildar, you said something about my insignia. I do want to have a more heated conversation about this with you, and I have a lot of questions.
Like I said, I know my history fairly well. If there's any way I can help, please let me know.
You keep saying it's history and it was from the Second Age. If that's the case, then when are we now?
When are we? Like, what year is it?
Yes.
It's the year of our gods, the third era, 322. So, Domic, third era, 322.
Yep.
Would be 322 years into the third era, which is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Compared to the time you would have been familiar with, would have been. Sorry.
You good?
Like. We'll say, like. 1300, second era 1300. Late 1200s, early 1300s, somewhere in there. So at some point that era ended, however long after that, and then for roughly 322 years, this era has been around.
Okay, and then that's all right. So it's 322 of the third era. When did the second era end?
Oh, the second era, that ended about. Yeah. Oh, did I do that wrong? Totally right? No, that's right. No, it wasn't. Fine. New math. I literally built a timeline for these exact questions, and now I'm realizing I did my math wrong.
It's okay.
That would have ended. He was there, and I was there. It was, I want to say like mid 1300s.
He's getting Domic's gonna just kind of grip over
The
it.
exact year was it 1368? And yeah.
Domic's gonna hear this and he's gonna kind of just trip over nothing and kind of stop a little bit. And his eyes are just gonna get wide.
It's interesting about the second era because the second era ended at the end of the Dragon Wars, which of course lasted well over 50 years. And so, the Dragon Wars, my math is correct. What is it again? So yeah, it must have been earlier than that. It's probably 13.
Carry the one.
1330, 1340. Oh, yeah. No, but I do have some books on it back at my home. If you're interested in the matter, I could
Yes,
find a way to get them to you. I'm sure.
very interested. I
They're several hundred miles away, but we'll think of something.
well, yes, yes. Thank you, Sildar. And he's just gonna go quiet after that, and he's gonna kind of just like go into himself, contemplating something now.
Awesome.
Hey,
That's
Sean,
2 PCs I've broken. Who's next?
Not me.
What's up?
just wanted to check with you. We did get our long rest from that night,
You
correct?
did get your long rest. Yes. If you haven't done so already, complete your long rest. And you guys are now on the road making your way to Delverton. And it's actually, as you're kind of like hitting midday, you start to see the town of Delver approach in the distance. It's like I said, right around noonish, as the town kind of creeps into view through the trees of this massive forest that you've been lurking through. You can see, the same site that you saw the last time you approached, the newly built roadhouse of fieldstone and rough-hewn timbers. Oh, what am I reading? That's the fucking. Well, shut up.
Shut up! I didn't say that.
The rutted track emerging from a wooded hillside. Um, uh, and you see like the town, like maybe another mile in front of you, 40 or 50 simple log buildings, and this old fieldstone foundation, these old ruins, these crumbling stone walls covered in ivy and briars surrounding the newer houses, hinting an older civilization that was once here, as Delvertone is kind of built on the bones of these old ruins. You see how the road kind of widens into the town square. You see the like crumbled, decrepit manor off on the eastern side of town, standing atop a lone hill. And as you approach the town, you can see children playing on the town green and various townsfolk kind of tending to the chores or running their various errands at the different shops. Um, a few of them kind of pause and stop to like look at you all, look at Sildar, who's still very badly like injured, got a bunch of mud like caked into his back. He's wearing like a shirt that like doesn't fit him.
Hmm.
As you make your way into town, and as you approach the first main building is Barthen's Provisions, where you all dropped off your cart when you first came out. This big red roofed, large storeroom. And as you approach, you see Sildar kind of eyeballs it and says, I think I need to stop here, grab some provisions for myself, and then probably find an inn to set up shop and get a feel for the town.
Well, so have you never been to Delverton?
A long time ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but it's been some time since I last visited. It's grown a lot.
All right. Well, we have a bit of a repertoire with most of the folks here. I can stick around with you and walk you around if you'd like, and then we can head over to this is Marthrin's Provisions, and then we can head to the Stonehill Inn and get you a bed and possibly some healing from Sister Aradel.
They have a priest now.
They do.
We didn't have that last time I was here. Yeah, good for them. Yeah, that sounds delightful. I don't think it will be too long, but get what I need, and we'll head to the inn from there. What are the rest of you guys doing? Do y'all want to hang out with Sildar and Dominic? Are y'all gonna
I would like
head
to,
back to the
just
inn
because we're
yourself?
coming in that same way, just drop Pamela off at the stables again.
Sure.
While we're doing this, I'm going to take a
Sure,
quick
you
break to
see-
say goodnight to my kids. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, you see the same young farmhands, Ander and Thistle.
Oh, yep.
Ander and
Thistle.
Thistle. And they like, oh, you're back, and kind of take Pamela and lead her to the back stables. You see Elmira comes out, and acknowledges you, Kitlin, and then sees Sildar approaching with Dominic, and you see like her face just kind of grows like concerned with worry.
Okay.
Where's
Yeah,
what
what's
about
the crack?
You found someone.
I see that is Gunjan with you?
He's not.
But we've got some news that he might still be alive. At least,
Okay.
you know,
Well,
his
please
friend was with him.
come in. Thistle, Ander, take Pamela around back. And she leads you inside. You're able to kind of share your story with her, and she takes it all in. She goes, so what are you guys gonna do next? And Sildar kind of speaks something as well. Right now, I think injuries we need to treat, information we need to gather. before we can continue pursuing what I do fully intend to do with Elmira. But for now, we have to be wise about how we approach this. I'm so concerned about this Goblin King character. I don't know why the Drow are involved either, but that can't be good. In the meantime, he goes on to ask her for some simple provisions, a lot of like medicine kits, some rations, some basic clothing, and accumulates not a large bill, but a moderate. And he says, "Where are you going, Captain?" I should mention, I don't kind of like indicate his current situation status.
Hey, Sean. So
Yes.
sorry. I don't know if anybody else is having difficulty hearing,
I
but
am, yeah.
your mic is cutting in and out. Like it's kind of
Cutting
like
in and out?
fading. It's kind of like fading back and forth.
Okay, it might be my. It's like it's moving on my head, and I'm getting further away from it. Is
I
that
don't. It
better?
might.
Maybe.
I think so. It may be the. I feel like last time it happened, it was something with the music.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I don't really hear the music at all.
I don't either. Yeah, I feel like
I
you
think.
like changed
yeah, it's
something
gonna
last
happen. I don't
time.
know. Yeah, I had a different like mic in, and I took that out, and that seemed to be better.
Ah.
How is it? How is it now? Is it? I'm gonna try this.
And that sounds good now.
Sounds nice and silent.
Oh.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
just I
Is
feel like
that
uh,
is that any better? Is that worse?
Keep,
Is that
keep
still?
talking.
I'm
Not
gonna
still
keep
doing
talking
it.
to you guys.
I think it
I'm
was better
gonna.
before. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
better
Yeah.
before.
I think it's your moving. That's what I think. But I'm just guessing.
So this is better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. I will try to move around less, which is really hard for me.
I just be conscious where your mouth is in relation to your headset.
There we go.
Cool. Maybe I
And
need to
don't-
like hold this side to like my head so it stays in place.
You could get you could
Tape it on there.
tape it to tape it to the side of your face.
Yeah. That's what all like cool kids do, right?
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the cool kids move.
Um, well, I guess while
We're
I'm
gonna
still
take a quick
saying,
break.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm wanting to go back. I'll ping it on the map to that little like forge place that didn't have anything. Or the
Oh,
little
yeah.
metal shop place.
The other like shop,
Yeah, the one that like
the
didn't have
Lion
much.
Shield coster.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Stars is just kind of hanging out. There's nothing that she particularly wants to do at the moment. More than likely, once we get back to the inn tavern, she's gonna start playing some music again.
Okay.
Yep.
Would she kind of stick with everybody or just go straight to the end?
I think stick with everybody.
Cool.
I'm gonna get more library time in.
Nice.
But yeah, but I'm gonna read all the books.
Which book are you thumbing through while you're taking this time in Bartman's Provisions?
The Chimer folk.
Okay, cool. I still want to wait
Excuse me.
for Dominic to get back. I'm not just
Yeah.
like taking your ideas and being like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
you
no,
do
we're
that.
good.
Would we be okay with doing a quick bathroom break?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Grab a drink, take
All right.
take a body. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Cool, perfect.
We'll be back after these messages.
Stick around.
Returned.
We're leaving.
I knew
Yeah,
it.
we're just about to take a fuck.
Son of a bitch. That's fine.
Oh.
Oh my
Enjoy
God,
your
that's
break.
amazing.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
All right, break.
So,
Dang it.
Kitlin's is going to the other shop, the Lion Shield Coster, the one that had like less inventory. Starist and Bernie, I think, are sticking with you guys, and Kitlin's just like in the back of the store reading through some books.
Okay.
Or Ku is. So Kitlin, I think, is the only one who left.
Can I, before he did that, well, never mind. I'll
There's
probably.
some in the grinder. You want to roll one real quick? All right.
I would have tried if I knew Kitlin was going to go there. I was going to see if he can get me a shield, but not a big deal.
Cool. And then so basically, you guys told Elmira everything that happened. Sildar was like, "Well, we still intend to find him, but we need to get more information first before we can really do anything."
Gundred. Okay.
Yeah. She's like, because Elmira seems to be worried about Gundren, and she seems to have some kind of relationship with Gundren invested in this excavation.
Mhm.
Just generally concerned for his well-being.
Yep.
So you guys kind of explained everything to her. Sildar was like, we want to look for Gundren, but we gotta figure out what our next steps are. And then Sildar was like, I'm really concerned about this. Who this Goblin King is that you heard mentioned, and why the Drow are involved, because that's never really a good thing. And then he was like, oh, by the way, I want a bunch of stuff. I want like some rations. I need some clothes. He asked for weapons and armor, but she doesn't carry that. That's usually what you would go to the Lion Shield Coster for. And he asked for like some like healing kits and things like that, like medicine kits and things like that. And then he was like, oh, but by the way, I don't have any money on me.
Sweet.
And then that's kind of where we were like, yeah, Zaman should be here.
Cool. All right. Well, you guys can take your break. I will just kind of hang out for a little bit.
I'm gonna hang out with you because the DM never breaks.
That's fair. It's good.
I like Sildar. He's a cool NPC.
Sildar's pretty dope. I'm thinking Dom is gonna definitely. He kind of feels like he's like a higher officer, but not like outside of realm of hanging out with like a Dom, the foot soldier, like type of situation. Kind of like a mentor. I think is what Dom's is getting the feel of Sildar. He still doesn't trust him fully, but now that he's given that information that he's 400 years in the future.
I'm so excited because so the whole idea behind this whole campaign that we're doing is like to take published books, right, and then like mush them together into our own story.
Yeah.
So it's been really like Lost Mine and Found Over is a great little campaign, like as just like a hey, let's get from 1 to 5, and then use this to kind of like set our tone. I've been having a lot of fun, kind of taking it and making it my own, and mixing up the lore and the characters a little bit.
Yeah, I remember like going over Lost Mines and Found Over, and you're right, it is a very streamlined. Let's go to 1 to 5, but it lore dumps a lot. There's a lot of places that you can like take it different ways. So I do really like that campaign. It was a really very well written campaign when it first came out.
And it's like I'm kind of in between like 3 books for the next one.
Nice.
And it largely depends on like what you guys do too, and like how we get there.
Yeah, we'll see how this all goes. I definitely want to go check in on the Stonehill Inn, make sure the Stonehills are good. I love that family. I will die for them.
Yeah. All in due time, sir. Oh, that'd be fine.
I mean, as a blood hunter, I probably will be the first. So
It's always the blood hunter.
it's always the blood hunter. We're gonna do a Mollymock type situation,
Hey.
except for the
Dude,
weird.
you even gave yourself a fucking deck of cards, man. Like
I
you're
did.
asking for it.
I am. But yeah, so that's basically how I'm. Yeah, I really like Sildar though. He's cool. Man, 400 years in the future. So that's crazy.
Are... Yeah, just about.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to like play like if Dom were to find this out, he would have just been like, "What the? Where? What the?" And that's why when I was like, "When are we?" You were like, "That's a
Right.
weird question."
Well, and like it hasn't come up before yet either, so I think this is like brand new for some years.
Yeah, no, this is like
Right?
this is new information. He hasn't really in his travels hasn't really had a chance to like stop at a library and read about like current events. He's been moving
Right.
forward, so
Well,
like
yeah,
this is
you like snuck into a pub, took a sink bath, make yourself somewhat presentable,
yeah.
got information, landed a job.
Yep. Got a job and kept going.
Survival mode, man.
Yeah, man. I love it though. That's I love this. This is so good. That's why he was like, shit. How do I take this information and compartmentalize this now that I know I'm a man out of time? That song came up right when I said it too. That's so good.
That's the Doctor Who theme song.
Yeah, it is.
Joe and Abigail had to play against my Doctor Who deck this weekend.
Oh,
Yes, it was an experience. That was the one where we were trading monsters back and forth.
it was an
Yeah,
experience.
That was insane.
Those creatures shuffled hands like 20 times.
It was easily the most amount of like that was one of the craziest Magic games I've ever had. That was like
Honestly, though.
Joe decked himself out and like I had nothing out and was tapped out, but I couldn't be attacked. So I was perfectly safe.
So,
And, like,
And I kept casting Lagrella the Magpie, and then somebody else would copy Lagrella. Because like when she comes out, yeah, she exiles all like the monsters under her or creatures under her
until she leaves.
Until she leaves. So then somebody else would copy her, exile her, and take all the creatures back, and then I would bring her out again or copy her again. It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah,
happened so
I
many
could take
times.
like a million turns, but I couldn't attack Sean. So then I went to like, all right, well, if I can't kill Sean, I'll at least kill Abigail and then deck myself. And then she did Teferi's protection. It's like, well, I can't attack anybody, so I'll just draw my deck
I'll
and
just
die.
kill myself.
Oh.
No, and we didn't do any damage to you either. Like you,
No.
I know.
Just killed
you,
myself.
Like did 40 points of damage to yourself and decked yourself out by drawing your entire deck. We're like, Joe, we're not even like touching you. You're just like a pushing over there.
We did like 4 points of damage to Joe.
Like, are you okay?
Yeah. What is this deck?
Right. Awesome. Okay, so a couple of different things are happening. Kitlin, you are able to stable Pamela with ease, and you start making your way to the Lion Shield Coster while everyone else stays back behind in Barthen's provisions. You see that Sildar, he kind of gives her this long list of things that he really needs. And she like, kind of takes out some parchment and dips a little quill in ink and makes a little list. And as he kind of gets to the end, he's like, so here's the thing is I don't actually have any coin on me now, but Does Delverton still have a town master? And Mark's like, yeah, of course. And he's like, well, if the town master has any pigeons, perhaps I can send word back to Neverwinter, and if you give me a few days, I'll acquire a loan, and I promise you'll be reimbursed, as will you all for your help in freeing me. Um, but I will need at least a few days to get the message out there, and then for a rider to reach us. Would that be agreeable? And you see Elmira kind of ponders it for a little bit. She kind of like looks to you guys, like, hey, is this guy real? Is this guy legit? Looks back at. All right, but if he doesn't pay, the debt's moving to you guys. She points to you, Dominic, because you're kind of standing right there.
Where,
And you see
what is
Gilder
the
just
debt looking like?
thanks her profusely.
What's the debt looking like right now?
It's like some clothes, some medical kits, which those are probably the most expensive thing. Without having the book right in front of me, we'll say like just south of 80 gold.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Right. Well,
No.
I can go talk to our good friend Harbin. We did take care of the goblins for him, so. All right, yeah, it's fine. He's good for it. I know he's good for it, and if he's not, I'll make sure he's good for it.
Way less gold. I finally found the healer skit, so it would be, we'll say like 15 max, maybe like closer to 12. For all the stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. If that's
I've never seen so much money before.
70 gold less. Okay.
She kind of waffles and she's like, "All right, no, it's fine. You'd get your loan, but it looks like you really need the stuff. It looks like you've been through an ordeal. It's fine." And she starts kind of collecting the things. Koo, just a couple of things really quick. Koo, you were reading one of the books. Roll me just like a straight investigation roll. And Kitlin, you were making your way to the Lion Shield Coster. You get there, walk in.
Whoa,
the place
Koo.
is dead. It's completely empty.
Yes.
And you see Lenine, last name. Lenine, I think was her first name.
Let's see. Greywind.
Greywind?
Yeah, Greywind is what you told us.
She's kind of like, she's thin, but it's like that, like lean, kind of muscular, kind of like fit. She has like, short, darker hair, and she kind of like looks up, and she's like, "Yeah, wait, I remember you."
Yart, what's the crack? How you going?
Dune, right?
That's right, yeah, Dune.
You ever do anything about those goblins we talked about?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. But there's still some up in the hills. This is why I've come back to you. You didn't have much in the way of weapons last time, but I was hoping for some dinkier stuff, maybe. Couple of questions,
Well,
I
if you
suppose.
want dinky, you definitely came to the right place.
All right. Have you got just a couple pieces of steel? Small pieces of steel? Maybe just like some offcuts from some other weapons you've made.
Yeah, I might have a little bit of slag.
And have you got any flint?
No, I don't have any flint. I had a little bit, made it into a bunch of arrows, but those actually sold pretty well out here. I sold out pretty quick. No shipments are coming in. I got no materials.
Have you got any grease stains that just won't come out? Just a bunch of grease laying around anyway.
Are you sure you're not an artificer?
Why? Why?
I'm getting to it.
Why would I leave? Why would no? I don't have any grease. What do you want?
Have you
You
got a
see
piece
that
of
she's
paper?
getting like a little like agitated because like her store, like she's not getting any goods. Her store is going out of business, and you like this place is there's like a dagger, maybe a hammer around there, and this is supposed to be like a weapons and armor shop. There's no armors, there's no shields, there's very few weapons. There's like maybe 3 arrows left, and like one of the like holsters built into the wall, and
But they can
you can
make
see
stuff
she's getting
there,
like a
yeah.
little like there is a forge. Uh, there's not a forge here, but there is a forge in town.
Oh. All
Yeah,
right.
no, she just sells it here,
Would you mind if I took those
and she was
pieces of
hoping on
scrap
goods
metal,
being traded.
the scrap steel? Could I just have those?
Yeah, let me see what I got. And she goes into the back and kind of disappears for a minute. Kitlin, or Ku, what did you roll? Nat 20
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the
yeah.
timer book. So the book is a like anthropologist's account of some of their own travels going into um like unexplored wilderness um that lies to the east and parts of the south beyond Neverwinter's borders. The Sword Coast is pretty well mapped out. But the farther east you go, there's awareness of like other kingdoms that exist out there, but there's very little interaction, um, unless it's through like incredibly powerful magic, or through really powerful technology, which quite frankly doesn't really exist. Um, so in those pockets of all that wilderness, you find a lot of anthropomorphic um, animal creatures that make up a wide variety of different civilizations and tribes. Um, some are very deadly and dangerous to encounter. Some are very peaceful. Some are seem incredibly enlightened. Some have a gift for the arcane. Some have the gift for the martial. Um, and the book uh, has like a really interesting point of view to it. You can tell that this author has a love of exploration and a love of, and like a really academic view of how life exists in these various biomes where what Neverwinterians would consider like civilized. This is the complete opposite, but there is still community here. And so it just kind of highlights a lot of the similarities as much as the differences between all of these various species. And you learn that there are lizard anthropomorphic like people, lizard people, snake people, bird people, goat people, elephant people. Um, it like the different variations almost seem to be endless.
Hmm.
It's a really interesting book. It's just kind of a short read, and you're able to kind of thumb through it in like let's say an hour. So as everyone kind of wraps up at Barthen's Provisions and leaves, Coos kind of is still buried nose deep in his book as he just has found like a real page turner that he can't seem to put down. Kitland, you see that Lenine comes back out with like a small bucket of a couple of like iron shavings, like you can tell it's like a broken dagger blade. It's where like she had a hammer uh, out like some imperfections, and it's like the dust and the shavings and the little chippings. So you get like 3 or 4 kind of big chunky pieces, and the rest of it is more like shavings and like little tiny scraps like the size of like a fingernail. Um, and she like puts the bucket on the counter. Like, what do you want for it?
Well, could I just take, one of these chunks of broken Shit, maybe I just need about 6 inches of steel.
Buddy, look around you. I'm dying. This is a store. You want something. I gotta at least try and sell it. Make me an offer.
1 piece of silver for your trash.
God.
Roll a persuasion
Nice.
check.
Nice. Give me your
It is.
trash.
It is it is a good offer, and it is a low DC. You only
8.
needed a 5, and 8 is enough.
Oh,
She's like, yeah. She kind of like takes the silver, slides it over, puts it in her pocket. It's all yours, buddy.
Great. And it seems like the forge is really where I need to be. Could you point me in the direction of the forge?
She kind of like nods out the door, north of town, across the street from Barson's.
Great. Well, thanks for your help. Best of luck in the future.
Is that where you're headed now, Kitland?
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys pass each other on the street. As you guys are making your way back to the Stone Hill Inn, you see Kitland kind of leaving the building opposite and just like walks right past you. Kind of like waves. She's like man on a mission. off the way you came from. As the rest of you all make your way to the Stone Hill Inn, you walk in. Just a small crowd of what look like farmers and various patrons getting like a midday, meal or drink. You see Tobin kind of nods as you walk in, kind of amidst the lunch rush, as you will. Hey, have a table. And yeah, you guys kind of walk into the inn. You see Sildar just kind of cuts his way through the crowd, begins making his way to the bar, and you see him kind of start talking. He flags down. What's her name? The barmaid.
You told us it was Elsa.
nice.
Yeah. Mhm.
Was it Elsa?
That's what you told
Nice.
us.
You see flag her down, and she already got like her hand on his shoulder and talking him up, and they're conversing about something over the din of the crowd. What are the rest of you doing?
Papa squat at a table.
Yeah, probably some food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab
I'm
a
Yeah,
table.
hungry.
yeah.
I could really use something to eat.
You see after Elsa and Sildar finish talking, Elsa kind of like disappears in the back, comes back like a moment later, hands a key to Sildar, and you see Sildar kind of disappears.
Mm.
Elsa eventually comes and finds your table, like a room key for a room at the end.
Oh, God.
Your table.
Secret key.
Yeah.
secret
Suspicious.
key.
Oh my.
Yep. Takes your orders, gets you some food and drink. We'll say it's knock off 2 silver for the rounds, and if you want to be generous, feel free to tip. And yeah, you guys get some food, you get some drink in you, and you can kind of feel yourselves be revitalized after a weary day and night.
I'll get this round, everybody. Get what you want.
Much appreciated. That was definitely a harrowing experience, to say the least. Elsa, where did Sildar head off to?
Oh, he just he needed to get a room. He wanted to change, put some fresh clothes on, just freshen up a little bit, clean himself up. See if he could draw a bath out back. I mean, he looked all messy and gross. I'm not gonna lie, I can smell y'all from the other side of the restaurant. Y'all could probably use a bath yourself. Seems like he was doing the generous nice thing to the rest of us. You know what I mean? Because PU. Anyways, how's that beer? How's that? How's your food? Anybody need a refill? Anybody need to top off?
Well, after that conversation, now I feel a
Honey,
little
I tell him
embarrassed.
like I see him.
Thank you, Elsa. You know what? That's what I love about you. You're just so
You know I
straight.
love you.
You're a straight shooter, and
You
I
know I love
appreciate
you.
it.
If I didn't like you, I wouldn't be honest with you, honey.
That's true. You're not wrong.
If I didn't like you, I wouldn't have said nothing. But I
That's
like you.
true.
So and honestly, I hope you do the same for me. If I came in wearing half the sins y'all got on y'all, I wish you would tell me immediately. Okay.
Yes. I don't think that will ever be the problem, Elsa. You are always wonderful as always.
I love you, honey. Stop it. I'm married. Walks off and she gets busy with another table. That's right,
Oh.
Bernie. You weren't here for Elsa.
No.
Yeah,
You weren't.
fair.
Elsa's
I wasn't.
amazing.
I'm
I've
like, oh.
pretty much Dominic will die for this family. I've already said it. I love everyone in this family. He will die for this family. He
Fantastic.
will
So-
keep everybody
so-
alive.
So it's mostly farmers. There's humans. There's dwarves. There's gnomes. There's the half elf. You know, there's a bunch of kind of mix of races.
Mhm.
The family who owns the inn is the Stonehills. There's a big gruff dwarf whose name is Tolbin.
Tolbin, correct.
Tolbin, yeah.
Toblin.
Toblin?
Toblin.
Toblin. Yeah, Toblin.
Toblin Stonehill. He kind of runs it. He's got like
Tolbin?
dark
Whatever you
black
want,
hair
Toblin.
that's pulled back into a ponytail that comes down to like the middle of his back. He's got a huge beard and a big long mustache that's all braided into various like long braids that hang almost kind of like dangly tentacles underneath his chin, and they've all got like a bunch of gold and silver and bronze bands wrapped into them as like the two largest ones are braided and have like a big iron clasp around the bottom of them. Same thing with his mustache. They come down and end in these two gold bands. His wife is, you know, they're both. He's probably maybe in his 50s. She looks a little younger, late 40s. She's got these big, thick red mutton chops and like red hair that's kind of like in a messy bun on the top of her head. And then their son, um, Mary, he's like maybe 14, 15. He's got like a really, really patchy beard all over his face that's like not fully in yet. And he mostly like stays in the back and like does the dishes and
Mhm.
collects all the dirty, you know, dishware from the tables.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the Stonehills, Bernie.
Awesome. Thank you. Can
And
I
tell
just
m-
take a quick look around and see who are the patrons in this bar?
Yeah, you look around, roll me a perception check.
Ooh, that one. I'm drunk.
Your average run-of-the-mill villagers and townsfolk. There's no, you know, mysteriously hooded figure sitting in the corner of the bar or anything like that. You see like a little old lady. You see like two halfling, what look like farmers that are all kind of, you know, dirty, and you just see people as you look around. Kitlins, you find the blacksmith shop. You can actually hear the faint ding, ding, ding sounds of a hammer as you approach the building, and you kind of walk around the back, and you see there's a lit forge. You see a halfling who's like completely balding on the top of his head. He's just kind of got hair on the sides and back of his head. He's got a big leather apron over his clothes. His sleeves are rolled up. He's got these big, you know, blacksmith gloves on. He's got this huge mask over his face that acts as a shield for the heat, and he's just hammering away. Looks like he's building a bunch of small nails.
Small what?
Ding. Nails, and he like
Nails.
kind of picks it up and looks at the shape of it, puts it on another side, and hammers it out for a little bit, and then picks it back up, and then hammers it on the other side. And he's just making these like he's just forging a bunch of nails, like just practical items. You know, he's not like making swords and, you know, weapons or anything like that. It's just a local blacksmith.
Right. Walk up to him and, hey, Art, what's the crack? How you going?
Roll me a stealth check. As you like round the corner, you run into a barrel you didn't see of a bunch of tools, and it just makes this clattering. Oh, that was Bernie's net one. You had a
Yep.
17. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
You come around the corner and you start like, "What's the crack?" He just absolutely scared the shit out of this guy who had no idea you were being visited. You see, he grabs his chest and like stumbles into the wall behind him. He's like, "Gee, Jeezy Pete, there, son, you scared the pants right off of me. Holy cow!
Oh,
Oh my goodness!
didn't mean to scare
Oh
you there.
boy! Oh, I need a minute, son. I need a minute. Oh boy!" You see, he pulls out a water skin and like uncorks it and drinks some. Screws it up my kitchen. Oh, wait. Oh,
Didn't
can I
mean to
help
scare you
you?
there. I've just been looking for you. Yeah.
You're looking for me. What do you want me for? What did I do?
I was gonna see if you could do a quick job for me. That'd be all right. Have you got time today?
Yeah, maybe not today. It depends on how big the job is, I guess. Here, now
Small
that I've
job.
caught my breath and I'm not, dying of a heart attack. Oh, here, come sit down. I got a table around the side of the forge. We could sit down. I could put a kettle on. Do you want some tea?
Sure, that sounds great. Yeah, good
All
crack.
right, I'll go put a kettle on. And he goes, disappears for a while. A few minutes later, comes back. He's got a kettle. He's got a couple of mugs and some uh looks like some like loose tea leaf that he's collected himself in support for both of you. Uh, okay, so you got a job for me then.
That's right. Yeah. Do I just have like a notebook on me, or
Hmm.
is that a special thing to have just a
Like
piece of
a
paper and a pen?
um a like a quill and an ink set. You
Or just
probably wouldn't have it on you unless it was already
yeah,
listed. But like he's clearly got some at his. You're at his
cool.
home. He could produce it for
Cool.
you
Would
if
you
you
mind
don't
if
have it.
I could
I
just
think you would
draw
need
this
that
for you?
listed.
It'd be a bit easier if I could just show you rather than tell you.
Oh yeah, I got some parchment. Yeah, hold on. Let me go get it. And he's just like the politest guy in the world. You scared the crap out of him, but we'll laugh about that later. We'll laugh about that later. Um, and yeah, you can sketch this idea you have.
Cool. Yeah, and just the other store didn't have any, but I figure it's worth asking. Have you got any flint?
Well, yeah, I got some flint.
All right. Would you mind
What
if
do you
I
need flint
bought some of
for?
that off of you? Well, see, I'm gonna start drawing, and I'll draw it on the map here so you guys can see too. Um,
Okay.
well, I've got this bit of scrap metal, and I was hoping to attach this to my bow. So essentially, what I want to ask him to do is to make an Oz clip for me. So I want like a piece of metal with 2 screw holes, and then another piece of metal the exact same size with 1 screw hole here that can swivel up and down, and
Mm-hmm.
then preferably a notch right there. And yeah, if we could make this piece out of flint, or at least have flint on that area, that's gonna be my drawing for him.
Okay, yeah, I see it. So and then what's the idea is if you hit it, the flint would strike down and cause a spark, right?
Well, no,
That's
see,
that's the
I
idea?
would attach this with 2 nails here and here
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah.
to
Okay.
the front of me bow, and the arrow would go
Uh-huh.
through here and strike the flint when
Right.
I shoot it. And I can optionally have it down or up. So if you don't have me
Yeah,
grease
yeah.
arrows out,
God damn it.
you
Let me take a look at the arrow.
say what?
Let me take a look at your arrow.
And I'll show him a grease arrow that's just the rag that's tied to the back behind the arrowhead. So, right, so the arrow would strike the flint and create the spark on the grease
Oh,
arrow rag here behind the
yeah.
arrowhead, and hopefully light it so I don't have to rely on somebody else to light me fires for me.
The problem is, as soon as this rag hits your flint striker, it's gonna get cut and go off balance. I think we need to find some way to Could you just put the grease on the wood of the arrow and eliminate the rag entirely?
Yeah, if you think that would work, yeah.
Well, you probably need to like soak them. You know what I mean? Like if you like
All right.
just like soaked the wood overnight and then you attach your arrowhead like the day you're gonna use them, and then when you it gets that little spark, you've got this wood that's just soaked with the juices. Because I think with the rag, you're gonna lose a little bit of your aerodynamics. You see, because you really want to get the weight of it just right, or those little feathers in the back, they're not gonna be able to do your job, and that arrow's gonna right into the ground there. So yeah, I think I think if we because I like the your idea though for the addition to the book. That's really interesting. I think we
All
got
right.
this shuffle there. I think it can be done.
All
Um,
right. Well, we should be
I
a
don't
team. I like working with
I
you.
don't I don't know if I can get this finished today. I gotta get like 58, 15. Oh, I lost count. I gotta get a few more nails done. That's gonna take me a good part of the day. But maybe
I
at the end
make
of the week I
I
might have
make
some
the
time to work on this if that's okay. If this can like wait, or does this need to like be rushed? Because if we rush it, then I could maybe get done. But it would just cost a little bit more because I gotta fill my other orders. You know what I mean?
What if I don't want to keep my friends waiting too long. If I made the nails for you, could you work on this?
You wanna make the nails?
Sure, yeah.
Have you ever used the forge before?
Oh, I've grown up around it.
Are you
I
proficient with blacksmith tools?
no. But I can figure it out. If you want to
Well,
Mhm.
well,
how
show
hard
me
is
what you
making a
got.
nail? Yeah.
All right, well, all right, sure. How hard is my job? It took me a while to learn it, I guess, but
Oh my
maybe
goodness.
you could just do it. So show me what you got. Roll me just a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
How hard is my job? He's like, took that to heart.
Yeah,
That
I
was
know.
pretty. I was like, wow, rude.
I do.
Okay.
16.
Um, it's not bad, but it's decidedly worse than the nails he's creating. And he's like, well, yeah, honestly, for never having done it, that's actually pretty good. I'm kind of mad about that. But unfortunately, you can see just like right here, it's like a little crooked, and that's not good because then when they hit it, the whole thing is gonna. So you want it, and he takes the hammer and he kind of like just methodically like twists and bangs it a few times with the tongs, just like the right way in the right spot, while he's like explaining it to you, and then picks it back up, and you can see it's like perfectly smooth now. And he's like, so I think it'll be just faster, and if I just finish the order. But I tell you what, let me see what I can get done tonight. Come back, come back. Can you come back tomorrow evening? Come back tomorrow evening, and I'll see what I can do.
All right. And what would this run me, you think?
Uh, parts and labor. I'll have you a quote by tomorrow evening, but somewhere in the ballpark of 25 gold pieces.
Ooh. Right. All right. That is steep. Are you sure there's nothing I could do labor-wise around here to help bring that price down? Even if it's just carrying something for you, helping out the
Uh,
best I can.
not really in the market for an apprentice right now, but it is appreciated, and I'll keep your name at the top of the list if it ever comes up.
I'll tell you what, I can
We'll
get you the
call
25.
you.
I'll
We'll
get you the
call
25.
you.
Well,
We'll call you.
we'll discuss official numbers tomorrow. But I'm just ballparking right here. I don't we got a few more things to figure out. But come by tomorrow evening after I've gotten this project done. Um, and yeah, we can definitely talk more about it.
Right. All right. All right. Well, let me know if there's anything I can do. Otherwise, I'll get you the 25. But yeah, just didn't want to keep my friends
I
waiting. So
really I can't stress this enough. I really don't want to commit to a number right now. We're just talking, and yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
right,
I'm
right.
Milo, by the way. I don't think I caught your name.
Caitlin Muldoon.
Goblin. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Muldoon. We'll talk more
Soon.
tomorrow. I gotta get back to it, okay?
All right. See you then.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Muldoon.
Good crack. Yeah. All right. I will go rejoin.
Oh, man.
Um,
That's
as you
awesome.
leave, you actually see Ku kind of leaving Barthen's provision
Oh wait, I do
after
want to
you
stop.
finished
Right before I walk
your
away.
book.
Have you got a grease spill or a bucket of grease around
Oh,
here that I can
no.
leave some arrows in?
I do not hang on to grease, though.
All
No,
right, I'll
don't
go to
have
the
a use for
kitchen.
that.
I'll go to the kitchen. All right, thank you.
The coal-fired forge. Um.
It's a cold.
All right, everyone, back at Stone Hill. You've had a little bit of food. I think Sildar eventually rejoins you. He's had a bath. He's freshened up. He's got some actual clothes on now. And comes and joins you all at the table. Is this seat taken?
No,
Course not.
please.
Make yourself at home. I did
That
want to
you?
ask while everybody was still here, did anyone by chance take anything off of those goblins or anything that could prove that we annihilated them?
Ooh.
Well, I'd like
Can't
to think
say
my
that I
word means
did.
something.
I mean, I'm hoping so, but Harbin's
Also
kind
true.
of a dick.
Hmm.
Let me handle
I-
Harbin Webster.
Oh,
am I back with them?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You and Ku are still walking towards the end.
do you know Harbin, Sildar?
No, but Toblin was kind enough to fill me in a little bit. He may not, we may not know each other, but I think he will respect what I have to say. Anyways, what can you all tell me about this town?
Mm.
Well, I guess I'll bring Sildar up to speed on what my conversation with Harbin was.
Okay.
And then kind of, I guess, if you guys want to chime in with the little things of, bandits have taken over the place and
Mhm,
all that stuff.
mhm.
We'll just kind of fill Sildar in on what we've learned over the day or two that we've been here.
Hmm. Interesting. What did you say this bandit group called themselves again?
They were called the Red Brands.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
of
it
them
was
by
it was
reputation only.
it was interesting. Whenever I brought it up to Harbin, he kind of just brushed it off, and it just kind of irked me a little bit. I don't know if he's being
Probably
paid under the table
intimidated by them.
or possibly, I'm not sure. Something. It didn't sit right with me.
Well, we'll definitely see. It's possible they're paying him off, but I feel like it might be even more likely that he's just a coward.
Mm.
Have you heard of these red brands before?
I've heard of them, but I've never interacted with them. A nasty group, sell swords, usually working for somebody. That's probably the person we need to find. Anyways, I feel like it's about time I come clean with you all. Not that
Oh?
I've been dishonest, it's just that I don't think you know the whole picture yet. As you've probably figured out by now, I was traveling to Doverton with Gundren. I was very aware of his expedition with his brothers, but I was not involved with it. I've known Gundren for some time. Um, Me and him both have business to conduct in Neverwinter, and run in similar circles. He's a man that has a lot of information, and I'm a man that likes to keep my ear to the ground. Um, I was headed this way anyways, and it just happened to coincide with Gundren's mission, so it seemed, well, that it might behoove us to travel together. Have you all ever heard of an organization called the Lord's Alliance? And as he says this, Ku and Kitland, you kind of walk into the door and you see your friends all sitting at the table with Sildar.
All right, yeah. What's the crack?
Well, there you are.
How
You
you
two
going?
went long
Hello.
for a minute.
Welcome back.
Did you get anything good?
Not yet. Hoping to.
I've not heard of the Lord's Alliance. Who, Kitland? Have you ever heard of the Lord's Alliance?
No. Not I.
Doesn't
don't-
seem to ring a bell.
I don't know that I have either.
Nothing here.
Ku, Ku, roll me a history. Roll me a history check.
Not bad.
Ku, you worked for some time as a clerk in the Platinum Courts. The Lord's Alliance is a name you're very familiar with. The Lord's Alliance is a group of like-minded individuals, usually individuals of some prominence, whether that's title, wealth, land, um, knights that have risen through the ranks, sometimes retired adventurers. But generally, it's a group of people with means and abilities that deal in information and deal in um, rumors of the surrounding areas. Neverwinter is a very, very prominent city. And generally, prominent cities lead to further civilization, like as the realm expands. And these smaller cities and these smaller homesteads and these smaller towns don't always have a central authority, much like what you see happening in Delverton. The Lord's Alliance is the group that likes to volunteer those services to these towns. They like to try to stay in the know and then offer their services wherever they can, and generally help mitigate oppression and tyranny in areas that don't generally have people looking out for them. So that's kind of the Lord's Alliance reputation. It's like a bunch of philanthropic retired knights that want to make sure new towns are on the up and up.
All right.
Well, my friend,
Yeah.
These good guys over here.
I happen to be a member of this organization, and
Really?
really, I'm here because I'm looking for someone. A man by the name of Ierno Albrecht. He was also a member of the Lord's Alliance and came to Delverton a few months ago. He had a lead that he wanted to investigate, but other than that, we didn't really know much about his trip. We shortly lost contact with him after he arrived, and I hoped to figure out what happened to him.
Ooh.
What were the leads that he
So-
was following?
I'm not sure. But I have a feeling that these red brands being here, Ierno's disappearance, Opera's strange interest in Gundren, it's gotta be connected. I don't know how and I don't know why, but it just feels too convenient. All of these things to be happening at once.
Does it have something to do with the pale spider? The drow?
You say those words, and he turns and faces you, and he says, "What did you say?"
The pale
Oh.
spider? The drow folk?
How do you? And he like hushes his voice. How do you know this name?
I believe our friend, Caitlin, overheard something from the bad guys, in the den.
That's right.
Bugbear was getting information from a drow, and something about the pale spider came up. That was before we murdered him in the caves.
Elf-like fella.
Was it a
Blonde.
fellow or was it a woman?
It was a woman. I seen her.
Lady. Long white hair, right?
Right. Yeah.
Hmm?
What do you know about her? Go on.
Just
Spit it out.
about the pale spider. Not much, I'm afraid. Only that if it exists, it's very powerful. And if there's anything that the warring goblin tribes fear more than each other in this territory, it's the pale spider. It's something the Lord's Alliance has been keeping tabs on for some time, but information about it is very well guarded and very, very hard to come by, without great risk and oftentimes great loss. But there was something in Ierno's chambers back in Neverwinter. I had searched them, hoping to find some sign of what it was he had come here for, what he was looking for, what he hoped to discover. We found nothing except for there was a page, a piece of parchment in his hearth, badly burnt. Only a fragment of it remained. The only thing I could make out were the words, "Founds the cave. If our source is to believed, the pale," and the rest was burnt away.
Hmm.
What's everyone's? Nah, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Does he seem like he's telling the God's honest truth?
Roll me an insight check.
16.
Computer stopped working.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait, like for real though? This is dumb.
Oh no.
Nope. Nope. Come on, you can do it. It's just another window. Don't freak out.
You got this, computer.
Oh shit. No, it really doesn't.
Oh no.
Should we take a little break or something?
Yeah, I might need like 2 seconds.
Take a $5.
I tried turning it off and on again.
Blow in the cartridge. Well, I will be right back.
Okay.
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 Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Abby took a quick.
Yes, to take.
Yeah, Abby stepped away real quick.
I can like barely hear the music.
You want me to turn it
Yeah,
up?
let me turn it up on my end, see how loud it gets.
I've got it really low on the master.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I could hear like very, very faint hints of it.
I kind of like that though when we're talking because
Yeah.
it doesn't like overwhelm it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hey,
Welcome.
right. It's an easy fix. So yeah, so at that point, you see Sildar's kind of like stroking the edge of his beard a little bit and just thinking about everything. He says, "Well," he stands up and then like immediately winces as he grabs his rib, which is still
Oh,
clearly broken,
Oh
and
dear.
like kind of
You
catches
need
himself on the table and he says,
need more time.
"Probably, but I'm gonna go talk to the town master nonetheless."
Well, I'll come with you
I
then.
meant to
I have
myself, if
to meet with him as well.
if you insist, I'd appreciate the company. And to the
perhaps
rest of
we
you, I
should
meant
all
what I
go.
said.
Yeah, but I don't want to go inside and meet their boss.
You don't?
No, those henchmen were scary enough.
Mm.
I've got a quick question for the kitchen, real quick. I'll be right back. I'll walk over to whoever's at the bar.
Yeah, it's Toblin. It's the owner. It's starting to slow down a little bit. He sees just, typical bartender wiping out a few mugs and hanging them back up.
Say,
Oh, Caitlin, what can I do for you?
I've got an odd question for you, Toblin. Have you got a
Sure.
grease trap back there?
Of course we do.
Would you mind if I soaked some arrows overnight?
You want what?
I want to put some arrows in your grease trap and let them soak overnight. Would that be all right?
Well, we usually, get rid of it every night, but
Sounds so
I guess we
warming.
could do it in the morning if you want to soak them overnight. It's sure. It's none of my business. Go for it.
Great, thank you. Will you show me where it
Awesome.
is?
Yeah, come on, it's in the back. And yeah, he takes you in the back, and there's, he's got all like the oils and gross shit like on the pans, and it's usually all like scraped out into this big, um, uh, like tin kind of tub they have, uh, overnight. So it's like all kind of congealed and everything, but you can easily shove some wooden arrows into the congealed like fat and grease.
Great. Yeah,
Yum.
I learned this from your blacksmith down the way. He's got a pretty good idea, I think.
Oh yeah, it's
And
one of Milo's ideas. Yeah, well, good, great.
and
Milo's a little weird.
how many arrows would fit in the grease trap?
We'll see 5.
Okay, I'll put 5 arrows in the grease trap. All right, well, I'll let you know if it
No,
works out.
let's make it 10.
All right.
Let's make it
I
10.
think I could fit a few more.
Generous
Really,
DM.
Say like, we'll say it's got enough grease to cover 5 right now, but the container is big enough for 10. So we'll see how much more business they get throughout the day.
Awesome.
That's funny.
Cool. Make something real greasy tonight, would you?
Just to order all the bacon.
We
Right,
got a
what else do
couple
we?
of pigs we're actually getting ready to
What else do we need to eat?
roast.
I'll always have a little bit of bacon.
So Sildar starts to make his way out. The rest of you guys following him?
Well,
Um,
I'll gonna hold back with Ku for a minute. If you're not
Okay.
planning to go meet the boss, what do you think you'll do, Ku?
I mean, I'll go over there. I guess. I don't know. I
I-
guess.
If
I
you
guess
didn't
I
want to
just got
go,
scared.
How about
If you didn't
this
want to go,
coup?
I was gonna hang back and maybe take another bath.
How about this
And
coup?
sing some
If
songs.
you
That's a fine idea.
don't want to see Harbin, could you possibly see if you could find Sister Arabelle and bring her here for Sildar to get him patched up when we get back?
I can do that.
I think that'll be a better use of our time. I mean, baths are great. Star, you take your bath. But I think possibly getting a healer for Sildar will probably be in our better interest.
Daughter, take a bath for both of us, please.
And I'll come with you, Dominic.
All right.
All right.
And I'll come as well.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
And Ku, are you going or are you staying at the inn?
No, I'm gonna get Sister Arabelle.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay, so you're gonna go talk to Sister. I think it's Aradel.
Aradel.
Arabelle
Yeah,
or
sorry.
Aradel? I
Sorry.
don't know.
I think it might Aradel.
Aradel.
Yeah. I have my B's and my
then-
D's wrong. My bad.
Stars, you're staying behind at the inn to just get cleaned up and chill, and everybody else is going to the town master's house. All right. You guys make your way down to the town master's house, which I believe is over here. But let me just double check. Ooh, excuse me.
As we're walking, can I look around? Barney's just like got her eyes wide open, looking around. Is it possible
town
that
master's
there's
house.
any like rats scurrying about or like rodent creatures?
You and Joe just want to find all the
Um,
rats in town.
So, here's the inn where you guys just were. This is where Kitland is going to try to find Sister Aradel, and this is where everybody else is going to speak with the town master. Roll me a perception check as you look around for like creatures.
Cool. God damn it, I'm rolling like shit tonight. 6.
You see like the tail of a cat slink around like this building and then out of sight.
Okay.
But otherwise you don't see any other animals. You can hear like birds chirping about in the trees nearby.
Mhm.
Maybe even see like a squirrel or two. Like since you've walked in, but I don't think you see one like right now as you're making this
Sure.
journey in like the middle of the town. But yeah, you saw like a cat like hide behind a building. That was it.
I think that Barney kind of something feels different since she woke up this morning, and I think as they're walking, she's looking around and kind of sees the animals as she normally does, but she clocks the cat, and something about it kind of she like shifts a little bit as they walk, and like kind of flexes her muscles a bit, and almost kind of tries to imagine what it'd be like to be a cat. And there's a strange place in her brain that starts to open up. And as they're walking, she kind of turns to Dominic and to Kitland. You know, the druids back from where I come from, those that are skilled, they can change shape. They can change their form.
Is that so?
It's quite interesting.
Something about how I'm feeling today. Lads, I think that I could potentially conjure some sort of magic and get into something a little bit sneakier if we want to find out more about this guy. Perhaps stay undercover a little bit.
Ooh.
Right. What do you need
As
from
Bernie
us?
says this to you guys, you actually see her eyes like flash and turn like golden, and like her irises look like a cat's eye, like just for like a moment, as she says, like I think I could like do this, and it just like goes back to her bright blue dwarven eyes.
Goosebumps theme song plays in my head.
Well, Bernie, that's a interesting power. Yeah, it might be interesting to get a little bit more information.
I
Is there
didn't know
anything
if I would.
that we can do to help you with this?
I don't think so. I actually think it would be better if I were not to enter with you all. Perhaps I can go around and find a different way or come in afterwards unseen. It only, I think, is a short while that it lasts, but long enough to have a conversation. Let me give it a go. Is there an alleyway nearby? Or like maybe just like a place to
So
duck out of view for a second?
it it's a short walk to where you're going because you came
Sure.
out of this building and you're going to this one, but there is like a small little alleyway where you saw that cat disappear
Cool.
that you could try to run into really quick. I mean,
And
this is a small town. It's a population of like maybe 100 people,
right.
including you guys.
um, would you mind just holding up for just a second? And maybe as I suppose I should ask, it has Silder been overhearing this? Is he walking ahead? Is he walking with us?
Yeah, you guys are all walking together, so Sildar's kind of like stopped and is kind of just curious about what's happening.
Okay, I kind of give him a look, but then I look back to Kitland and Dominic. Could you give me just a second? I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. I'd rather do it away from watchful eyes.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
Sildar like
We'll
turns his
stand
back
guard.
and
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna kind of
looks
casually
away.
walk into like the nearby little, just less populated area, little alleyway or whatever between the buildings. Um, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna attempt to wild shape into a cat.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Uh, in so Bernie, you walk back there a little nervous, and you just close your eyes and think what it would be like to be a cat. Um, what it would feel like to be in their body, how their brains would work, how their eyes would perceive the world. And it just feels so easy to
Mm.
imagine for you. And when you open your eyes, your point of view is about 8 inches off the ground. And you see directly in front of you, hiding behind, underneath this like small little shrub up against the houses you're in between, these two golden eyes just kind of glowing back at you from under the bush. That's
Ooh,
the
what kind
cat
of
that
cat
you
did
had
you turn
spotted
into?
earlier.
Oh, the same one, same exact one.
Do I look like that cat, or do I have my own
What
appearance?
do you look like?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
whatever you want to look like.
I think Bernie is like a golden cat, like a
Yay!
very light, matches her hair a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Long-haired golden cat. Yeah, with bright yellow eyes, or actually bright green eyes, we'll say.
Cool.
Yeah, and you see this like shaggy golden haired cat walk out between where Bernie just exited through.
And I
Oh
kind of
God,
just
is that her? You hear Sildar say?
Looks like it worked.
I don't know. Bernie, is that you?
Fine.
I come and I like just pause for just a moment, and look up at them and then just like pitter patter towards the door that we're going towards.
Well, that's as
Cool. You
good
guys
as
make
any
your way.
indication.
Very cool. You guys make your way to the town master's hall, and Sildar gets to the door. This is it. Well, looks down at the cat. All of you. How would you like to proceed? I I I have no problem speaking with the townmaster directly. But Dominic, I believe you said you had a standing agreement with him already, and we also have this feline friend of ours.
Mm.
How do you want to do
I did have a standing agreement. I suppose I can head in and see if he'll give us an audience. Bernie, I don't know if they have any issues with pets, and I put that in quotes. You can try and sneak in and just give us a listen. Just be careful.
Yeah, right. You might want to try to find a back way in if you can understand me. Otherwise, I'll make a commotion.
Please don't make
You
a
can understand
commotion.
your companion.
Yeah.
Either try
can
to
I
They
find a
can't
way
necessarily
in.
understand you.
Right, they can't understand me.
Yeah,
Right.
so either try find a
But
way
you
in,
do
or
understand
maybe
them.
possibly it's a nice day out, open window,
Yeah,
something around
I
back.
think I was gonna see if maybe there was an open window around the side or around the back
Okay.
really quickly.
Cool. So
Alright.
Sildar says, "All right then, after you," and opens the door. And Dominic, and Kitland, and Ku. No, Ku, you're with Cicerdo. So Dominic and Kitland, you walk in. Sildar goes in behind you. As
I want
Bernie,
to
you go
whisper
kind of
to
around
Dominic
the house.
before we go in. Dominic, if we don't see an
Sure.
open window, maybe I could open one, or you could open one, whatever we're closest to.
And I'll just kind of nod.
Alright.
It's a good idea.
You guys go inside, and Bernie, you start making your way around the building to see if you can find a way in. Um, let's jump to Kitland. You just went outside. You walked into the town square. This is definitely like the busiest part of town. It's the nucleus of Delverton. So you see neighbors going back and forth. You see, various people going, tending to their shops. A few market stalls that have opened up from various farmers. Kids trying to sell some of the produce or what have you. Um, and you see at the north end of the town square is the Shrine of Luck, that has all of the incense, these sort of stacked stones that form this perfect archway with all the incense pulling out of it, and with plumes of smoke, and it's got ivy and different flowering vines growing up it, and various animal figurines that have been hand carved placed on it. And you do not see Sister Aradel um, attending to the shrine. But you do remember that her house was right nearby it, because after playing that song on the horn that Star spot, she went home, and you know where her home is.
Yeah. Can I give the shrine a once over?
Sure.
Or is the Pantheon represented beyond the Pantheon?
Roll me a religion check.
Yeah.
Nice.
You kind of glance and study the iconography and structure of the shrine, and you do not recognize um, any of the Empyrean, any of the divine seats, any of the gods that are openly worshipped as the um, most highest council, if you will, of divine beings. Um, you know that those six gods are Bahamut, Arathis, Moradin, Mistra, Pelor, and the Matron of Ravens. Those six gods are generally considered like the pantheon, but you don't see any like symbology that represents them. With a, what did you roll? A 19? You do see um all of the woodland creatures. That really seems to be the only kind of iconography. Everything else is very natural, or the incense. And as you study the little hand-carved creatures, you notice this symbol that appears to be like a triple spiral, all converging to a central point. And you recognize that as the symbol of a different god, a god that's a little bit older, a little less appreciated, a little more forgotten by the masses. A god named Avandra, the goddess of freedom, luck, and change. So not necessarily an illegal god or anything like that, but it's just because you rolled so high, this is a lesser known deity.
Oh. Interesting.
A more obscure
Yeah,
deity.
no. And I'll put all the pieces back, just as they were, and then yeah, I'll just make my way up to the sister's
As
house.
you rearrange the woodland figures, it's like a small bunny and like a frog, and one's like a sparrow, and you kind of put it back and like fumble a little bit and catch it, and then like put it back like delicately, and it's all the way it was. And you turn around to go to her house, and you see that Sister Ardell is standing about 10 feet behind you, just watching you.
Hmm.
Um, you didn't hear her as she approached. Um, and it seems this elf that's anywhere in between 25 and 280 years old, um, is still very light on her feet. And
Mhm.
she kind of laughs. And she says, "Are you enjoying the shrine?"
Oh, very much so. It's always interesting to come across things that one does not normally see. Um, and he kind of chuckles as that, and uh, but then kind of puts on his business face, I guess. Um, I'm I, I'm afraid I come looking for help, though, sister.
Well, um, why are you afraid of help? She kind
Oh,
of smiles at you. What is it you need?
well, we have a member of the Lord's Alliance that we got from a day's hike out from a goblin ambush. We rescued him, brought him back here, and he's now in meeting with the town master.
I
But he's
see.
in bad shape, and we were wondering if you had maybe any way to heal him. Broken bones and the like.
Kind of walks past you and lights another stick of incense and just kind of stands in front of it with her back turned to you. So he's injured. She turns to face you, but he's in a meeting. So his wounds aren't life-threatening, but severe. Is that a correct assumption?
Very, very accurate. Yes.
Well, I may have something that can help your friend, and it's kind of you to seek aid for another. If your friend is well enough to come visit me, I may have something for them.
Thank you. Um, and yeah, I guess I'll bow. And
You,
yeah,
before you go, do you pray to any of the gods?
I can't say that I do. Um, I like the creation of man a little more, as he kind of um uh tugs on one of the journals that he keeps at his side.
Hmm. I was like that for a long time too, but I don't know. It's different for everyone, I guess.
Hmm.
What is that your journal?
One of many.
So you worship yourself.
Hmm. Well, I guess in a way. Well, I think I like the idea of what myself could be. But I think that's where we're trying to go. Do you think Avandra would
Wha-
agree with that?
I think Avandra would appreciate how much one has to change to be the person they want to be. A little bit of luck that it requires to get there. I think in your own way, whether you mean to or not, you worship her with your beliefs. The gods aren't all of them beings that need you to do something for them. The gods are just, they're not so much bodies as they are embodiments. They are things that are ineffable, are destined to happen. There will always be fear. There will always be hate. There will always be love. There will always be magic. There will always be gods that represent these things. Anyways, I didn't mean to bore you with a lecture. You have a friend who's grievously wounded and also conducting business. I'm sure you must return to them.
I will. Yeah. And Q's just gonna scurry off.
Come back anytime.
Thank you!
Enjoy.
And you start rushing back to the town master's home.
Hmm.
Staris, I think you're just chilling.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
washing up
it's an
sounded like a
indoor
really
bath
good
because it's
idea
daylight
to
out.
Starus.
Yeah.
And maybe a chance to earn some more
You,
coin as she like plays some ditties.
Nice.
yeah, you get a room. It costs some money to get the bath set up, indoors, you know, because it takes a little bit of extra effort. Um, so we'll say mark off like 8 silver before tip.
Okay.
Um, and then, you know, yeah, you wanna just like start playing some songs?
Yeah, if it's okay.
I think that would, it's pretty slow right now, right? You're in like that dead time between like everyone had like their midday meal and break, and now it's like, all right, we gotta go back, gotta, take care of some more things, and then we'll all come back, as the sun is setting and sort of end our night here. So you're kind of like in between those two like rushes. Um, so you could play, but I don't think it would yield much results because there's not much of an audience if you wanted to do that now. Or you could just kind of chill, or you can meet up with your friends. Your call.
Gotcha. Maybe just for a little bit to play some for that day. Kind of like
Yeah.
your easy listening.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like with
It's that the lo-fi, baby.
I feel like
Yeah.
honestly, and I might even be getting ahead of myself because I think it's gonna take a minute to set up the bath and boil the water and then bring it and then you to actually take your bath and chill. So because your friends have just like gone across the street and turned into a cat. So I think you're like dealing with just bath for like the next hour.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
sounds about
All right.
right.
Cool. Cool. I know how long you bathe.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Not getting out anytime soon, y'all.
Yes.
Yes,
So
queen.
okay, so cool. So, you guys make your way into and you see into the town master's hall, and this is it's it's almost shaped like a barn. It's pretty open, and in the back you see that it's kind of cordoned off into a bunch of different offices. And there's like 2 stories. There's like stairs that go up to the second story, and there's a few offices up there, and then a few offices down here. And this is where just like a lot of like clerical work of the town happens, where just the commerce is tracked, the people are tracked, the goods that's produced are tracked. It's overall well-being and tiny, tiny semblance of government and officiating body is here in this building. So there's several clerks that are just kind of like working openly in this open floor plan as you walk in. And as you get to the back of the room where the offices are, you see the town master's assistant, kind of working on something, scribing something. Has a big like calendar on his desk that's blocked out into all the different days. It has like all these different times slotted out, and you have uh, all these offices. Most of them seem empty except for the one directly behind him, which Dominic, is the town master's office.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looks up from his work as you approach. Yes, can I help you?
You know who I am. I was here the other day. Needing to talk to Townmaster
Yes.
Webster. Is he
And
in
this
his
is regarding
office? The job he sent us on.
oh, one moment, hold on. And he like opens the door and immediately like shuts the door and leave you guys like standing at this desk and you hear like behind the glass, and then he comes out a moment later and he says, "You may enter," and he holds the door open for you guys as you we'll cut to Bernie as you're kind of making your way around the building. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. That's gonna be with the cat stats. So wisdom. Oh, I get +3 for perception.
Nice.
So I'm gonna roll a d20 +3, which is just my normal. Sorry, just checking everything. Ooh, not 20. Woohoo!
Nat 20, awesome. So you, as you kind of scan the outside of the house, you see, kind of seeing into the windows, you can see a little bit inside and get a sense of that like open floor plan. So you make your way to the back and you can see where the space is like dissected into smaller rooms.
Mhm.
Um, and that 20 is awesome. Uh, you go around the back and you see that there are actually like two windows that like can be like tilted out
Cool.
and happen to be like kind of slightly open um in one of the rooms in the back, and it appears to be a smaller office, and as you spot it you can actually see your friends walking into the room. Dominic and Kitland, you guys walk in, Silver's right behind you. You can hear him kind of breathing a little heavy. You see the town master, this big, wide man. He's got nice, kind of posh clothes on. His hair's like parted down the middle. He's got this really boisterous mustache over his top lip. Yes, come in, come in, come in. Grief Tear, was it? Yes, I assume you're here about the goblins.
That's
Well, I
correct,
assume you have good news for
Townmaster
me.
Webster. Yes, we have gotten rid of your goblin problem in the caves outside of town.
Fantastic.
We also
Fantastic.
found someone in the caves, and I'll just kind of gesture over my shoulder to Saldir. And brought
Sildar
them.
like steps forward and says, "You must be the town master of Delverton." Yes, that's right. Yes, that's me, of course. And do you let Sildar like continue talking for the group, or do you jump in and start talking about the money that you're owed?
I'm gonna have us finish the conversation about the money first.
Okay, cool.
So before
Uh,
we figure out what's going on with Sildar, Harbin, we need to, level out the books. We finished the goblin raid. You owe us what you owe us.
Right. There was the matter of the gold that we owed you. Um, of course. And he takes out a key, unlocks a drawer in his desk, and you can hear like ding, 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 like the counting of coins. Shuts the desk and produces 100 gold coins and sets it on the front of the desk.
Right.
It was
Go.
good doing business with you, sir. And I'll just kind of grab the gold.
Of course, and again, you have done Delverton a great service, so thank you very much for dealing with that. Were you able to recover any of the stolen goods?
Good.
Mhm.
I don't remember us speaking
Yes,
of
when
any
you cleared up
stolen
all of the goblins and the
goods.
goblin. Yes, that was the problem we were having with the goblins was they were interrupting our supply line. So I'm hoping once they were defeated, you being of course adventurers, you would have, you know, explored. And did you not recover any of the items that had been lost?
Well, you see, when we killed a bugbear and his wargs, we were kind of tired and then found an injured individual and decided maybe we should go and bring him back to town instead of dying in a
That's
cave.
quite good and all. That's great. I'm glad you went to the goblin cave and killed goblins, which was the deal.
Correct.
Just wanting to know if you discovered any of the goods, because the reason I wanted the goblins dead was for the betterment of the town, right? What you're helping us with. And you
And
see like Sildar is starting to get a little impatient behind you, but he is letting you take the lead unless you give him permission.
I'm just going to kind of look over my shoulder and nudge forward. I've gotten what I've gotten on us. We got our gold. I've taken it off the desk. That was what I was paid to do.
Um Sildar just erupts. So he and Toblin, the owner of the Stonehill Inn, had a chance to talk, and something that you guys did not, perceive or would never be able to witness, but I feel like is something you should be made aware of, is Toblin told Sildar all about the Red Brands and how they've been extorting people in this town. And Sildar is absolutely appalled that the ipso facto mayor of this town has not done anything for the betterment of this people. And as Sildar is just exploding on the townmaster in his own office, I cut to the open aired room where all the clerks are working, and they all just like stop and like look back to the glass because they can hear their boss being yelled at. Bernie, if you would like to uh uh, the townmaster is very distracted right now. If you would like to try to like jump into the window without being seen,
I would. Is this going to put me in the same room as all of them, or is it going
it
to?
it would put you in the same room.
Okay, and there's not another room to go into at this point. This is like the main office. This is like
Um, with a nat 20, there's several other offices, but as you're looking through them, they don't seem
yeah.
as occupied. So it doesn't seem like people are going in there to open up, the windows to use them.
Sure. Okay, perfect.
It kind of
Then
seems to be
I
the
would
only room that's being used.
I would love to jump in the
You can also
window.
hear what's going on really well with that nat 20 perception. Like you can hear kind of the conversation from this vantage as well.
Awesome. I'd love to jump in the window, and if I can, I'm looking for a spot to just duck under cover and hide, and like,
Okay,
yeah, inside of the office.
cool. Roll me an acrobatics and then a stealth check.
Okay, acrobatics. Acrobatics is a dex check +2.
I'm just kind of laughing under my breath to
You're-
Kitland. He's getting
So
his
that's-
ass handed to him.
9 for acrobatics, and then you said stealth, which is a +4.
You're a cat. I'm gonna give you an advantage on the acrobatics because this is
Cool.
like a cat, very catty thing to do.
Oh, that's even worse.
Great,
Oh,
love that.
no.
And then roll me a stealth check. This is gonna be great.
Oh my god. Hey, stealth is 19. Actually,
Okay,
no.
cool.
No, sorry. Stealth is 23 because I get a +4 as a cat.
So you're still getting used to your cat body, and you like leap up to the window and like don't quite make the jump, and like your front paws get over and your back paws are just kicking, just like you're trying to like get up over the window, and you do, and you like tumble and like roll like in like under the desk, and nobody fucking sees it because Sildar is just chewing out the
my
town master
God.
right now. So even though you're not used to the cat body and you're still kind of clumsy with it, you still get in and are completely unseen. And so now you're kind of like hidden under his desk. And from here, you can kind of see a couple of other spots in the room that you could maybe dart to if you wanted to like get away from him.
Yeah.
But while you're kind of down there and scoping out the room, um, Sildar's just going into and the town master like finally tries to like get up and like sort of be like, how dare you talk to me, this it's you will sit down as I address you, and it just completely deflates this man's ego. And Sildar ends it all with saying he's going to get himself set up in one of the empty offices and start actually doing something to take care of this god's damn town, and like storms out of the town master's office and slams the door. And like you guys are all still standing in the room, stunned that this has happened. And you hear Sildar say, "What is your name, son?" to like the little uh, um, assistant that was working in front
Yeah.
of the town master's office. And you hear this like little halfling, like mid 20s, like Mateo, sir. He's like, "Mateo, you're working for me now." And
Damn.
Sildar just like starts setting up shop. Um, and like you hear him like shouting, he's like, "I need parchment over here. I need to get a record of um, you know, all of the population here. I need to get like," and just like starts barking all these orders to Mateo. And then after that's done, like in a minute that's done, Sildar comes in, he's like, and he looks at you, Kitland, and Dominic, and he's like, "When you guys have a minute, I'd like to see you in my office." And at this point, Ku, you open the door and walk in, and Sildar says, "Oh, good, you're here in my office," and like takes the empty room right next to Harbin Webster, and Sildar starts setting up shop.
Oh my God.
Wow. All right. I guess Dominic's gonna look
Yeah.
at Kitlin and go,
And
"Do you have anything else you need from possibly not Town Master Harbin?"
I'll just say to the town master, all right, well, he's been through a lot the last couple of days, so don't take it too hard. Are you all right?
one thing you did hear Sildar say, just because I'm losing my voice and I don't want to like role play screaming,
Yeah.
all these different things. One thing you do hear Sildar say is, "You let a man die. You let a member of your community die by the hands of these ruffians.
Okay.
And now no one in this town can account for his family. You should be ashamed of yourself. You are a disgrace to this office." So,
Ooh.
like, Sildar didn't just go off on him because, hey, they've got a bandit problem and he's not doing anything about it. This big piece of information just got dropped. And as it's said, and as Sildar's going on this rant, you remember that you've heard a couple of times the carpenter, the late carpenter, get mentioned by one or two different townsfolk. There's been mentioned of a carpenter who recently passed.
He was the one that finished the building, correct?
Sildar pulls you all into his office. Bernie, you have a
Did he
moment
respond to
to.
the...
Oh, yeah, sorry. What did you want to do, Caitlin?
Just ask, he's just been through a lot. Are you doing all right?
Oh,
To the town
oh
master.
yeah, and you asked this. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, and just kind of like trails off and is left like speechless.
Mm.
Uh, can I look around his office is there any like art on the walls or art on the desks? Any paintings or anything?
Um, uh, like at a quick glance, as it's like kind of obvious, it's like time to like leave the room without it being weird. Roll me a quick perception check.
Nice.
16.
Um, not art, but there is um a stuffed creature on like one of the stands opposite where his desk is. And this creature is a rabbit with like a small unicorn horn on its head.
Okay. All right. I guess yeah. We'll get shoot out of the office. All right. Will.
Can
No,
I
I
make?
mean, if you want to like stick around and just like make sure he's okay, you can. But Sildar has just said, hey, when you got a minute, come in, and it is starting to feel awkward,
Can I
even for
make?
Kitland.
Did so you said that none of us saw Bernie. Can I make like a look around the office to see if I see her?
Roll me a perception check. You got to beat a 23.
Okay, I'm gonna go with I doubt it, but we'll see. Pew. Nope. Well, wait, actually 25?
Uh,
Nope, never mind. I rolled a natural
I see a
one.
nat
So, yeah, that was a 5. I see
one.
nothing. I'm just stunned by what just happened, and I'm just kind of laughing at myself, and I'm just going to leave.
Yep. So Bernie, as you see Dominic and Kitland leave, you have a moment. You can either stay in the office, or you can attempt to dart out.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay. The door shuts. You all make your way into Sildar's office. I'm sorry you guys all had to see that. But action needed to be taken, and I think that man needed to hear those words. Moving on. I think these red brands are a real problem, and I'd like to once again ask you for your help in dealing with them.
Oh,
Of course.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do we know anything? Any idea of where they hang out, or who might be leading them, or
From
what they
what
want other than to extort the good people of this town?
So from what I've learned while we were here, there was a new inn that was built down the way past the Stonehill Inn, getting closer to the dilapidated
Mhm.
manor. That is the
Mm.
inn that has been taken over by the mercenaries.
Okay, good.
We haven't had any chance to scope it out or any of that because we went to the cave to deal with the goblins first. It seems that they have been in
Maybe
town
it-
for a while. You saw them, correct?
Ooh, is this true?
2.
Yes. It is. They were frightening.
I believe
Good, Joe.
they were
Wow.
at Elmira's, correct? They were extorting her while you were there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
From what I could
Yes.
gather, it
Yeah.
seemed that regularly these red brands shake down various members of the community.
Oblin mentioned it as well, and it seems like most of the people, most of the merchants here, anyways, have had to answer to them in some form or another. Well, I hate to ask it of you, because it will most assuredly be dangerous. But it might be a good idea to visit this inn. Try not to engage them if possible, but any information you could find out will be helpful.
Well, it seems
Well-
that we possibly
This
have
town
some
doesn't
way
have
to
a.
infiltrate now.
Do you care if the building is
Uh,
still standing by the end? The town master did.
From what I understand is that inn was built by a man named Theldindrar. He was the town carpenter. He actually built a lot of the homes. He built this building we're all standing in. The town was growing. Well, the Stonehill Inn is a very accommodating inn. They had hoped for even more visitors. It's a really nice place, and he built it for his wife, who has since gone missing. So, I imagine if the wife is still alive, she would very much like to not see it burnt to the ground.
It's just that they're all in one place. You know, without drawing them out, we could we could do it all at once, right?
Here's what I'll say. I don't give a shit about the building. But I do care that anything that's done to drive out the Red Bands, stop them, bring them to justice, kill them, it's done in a way that won't hurt innocent people. A fire of that size could easily spread. So if you do go that route, you better make damn well sure you can control it. Do you understand me?
Right, yeah.
Larson is going to be the utmost last resort.
Well, I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that. But you make a good point. They are all in one place. Well, that we know of. They could have another location, but the Stonehill Inn does make sense. We also don't know how many of them there are.
And we haven't seen anything up
You
at
do
the
what do you think? Be
manor
careful.
either. The manor could be another base of operations.
It's possible, but if it's in such rough shape, I don't know how much good it would actually do them. But I agree it's worth checking out. Bernie, you are back in the office and you hear um the town master's just kind of muttering to himself. He's just going, okay, the Lord's Alliance, they're here now. We can't do anything about that. They're here now. So, shit is getting real. So, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to be smart. You're going to be smart about this, Harbin. You have been town master for 3 years, and you have done that by being smart. So we're going to continue being smart. And he like starts pulling out the keys that he had and unlocking a different drawer of his desk. And he starts rumming through one of the drawers. What are you doing, Bernie?
Oh, I really want to see what's on the papers that he's going to be pulling out or what he's trying to get out. So, I think I'm still under the desk, right? Is he like sitting with his legs
You're
tucked under the
still
desk
under
as
the
well?
desk. He's just sitting at the desk. You can hear him like moving, but like he's a plump guy. He's not like he doesn't do a lot of unnecessary movement. So his legs
Mm-hmm.
are pretty planted.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of shuffling through a desk right now. And you hear him go, oh, here it is. And like reach and kind of like grab something and pull it out and shut the desk drawer.
Okay. Uh, is there a way to get out of the desk without brushing into him? Like, is it a desk that has like, like a gap in the front and the back kind of thing where I could like
Yeah,
crawl?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I'd love to
Like it's
crawl out.
open. It's like just like a long,
It's an open desk.
it's open on the bottom. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'd love to crawl out of the desk, and if I can, I don't know what all is in this office, but my goal is that I'd like to get.
I mean, it's a small, like 15 by 10 space. He's got on the far end, he's got a shelf with like a stuffed animal. He's got like a couple of other like chairs in here. He's got several like racks of like all these various scrolls that are like roped up of like different documentation that's all been scribed out. There's a couple of sconces on the wall. Um, it seems like his desk is like the most, vital organ, if you
Yeah.
will, of the room.
Where are the keys?
On his person.
On
He's
his,
like pulling
where-
them out of like a deep pocket in his trousers, and then he seems to be putting it back in his trouser pocket.
Okay. um.
Doris,
Mhm.
about half of your bubbles are gone.
All right, might start making my way out of this
And
bath.
and the candle is like a third of the way melted down.
Nice.
That's where you're at.
Okay.
Minor illusion, rubber ducky.
Amazing.
this like pearlescent, translucent ducky that almost looks like how a disco ball looks when light refracts off of it. Just starts floating in the water next to you.
Nice. Hey,
Okay.
Go.
Bernie, what you doing?
Okay. That's so good.
And go.
I would like to. Okay, I'm gonna go out the front of the desk and creep around, and what I'm trying to do is get into like a perching position behind him, where I could see what's on the paper that he pulled out.
Okay, so you were trying to like instead of darting out the front of the desk where it would be harder for him to see, you're kind of like coming back out the back of it, and you want to take a glance at what he just pulled out of the desk.
Or ideally, if I could crawl out the front and then make my way around the desk and then
Sure.
like up
Sure.
to a table or something behind him or back up onto the windowsill even, and just like perch there
Okay.
and look over and look down at the paper on his desk.
You crawl out and like start to dart to the scrolls and like climb up them really quickly and claw your way over to like one of the other higher shelves. Roll me a stealth check really quick.
Okay. That's 10. God, I'm rolling so badly tonight.
Okay.
Sucks.
He's gonna roll a perception check. There's gonna be no bonus to this because he's just like frazzled and just rolling through his desk. So there's gonna be a straight D20 roll.
Oh man.
God damn.
Ah!
What
Okay,
is that?
so
Does
here's
he
what
win
happens.
or do
Here's
I?
what happens.
What does that mean?
You like dart around behind him as he reaches into his desk, and you see he pulls out this like thin, flat stone about the size of like a baseball, and it's got a hollowed hole in the middle. And he rubs the side of it, and you see these arcane runes start to glow in the flat stone as he holds it up and he says, Kiernan, Kiernan, can you hear me? Kiernan, we have a problem. Is that a fucking cat? And then sees you and like reaches for you to try to grab you. So you saw everything. You saw him pull out this stone. You saw him like rub the side, whisper something into it, and it glow with these arcane runes and say the name Kiernan, we have a problem. Is that a fucking cat? And he reaches to grab you. Roll me an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh, God.
All right. Oh God. That's gonna be. Let me see. So either Dex or Strength. Dex is gonna be better. So +2. Come on, baby. Above a 10. All right. 12. 14. 14 total.
He goes to grab you and you dart out of the way just in time, but he does get like just a little bit of the hairs on the end of your tail, and he's not able to grab you, but you do take 2 points of damage
Oh shit.
as he pulls out like
Is that gonna
as
knock
he,
you
like,
out of your change? Oh man.
yanks the back of your tail pretty hard.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
Oh shit, does that knock you out of your change?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
shit.
have hit points.
Oh no!
So, as
How much
he-
HP did the cat have?
2 hit points.
Oh shit!
Two? I rolled a D4 and I rolled a 2.
That's
Oh
amazing.
my god.
Okay. Shit. Okay. As that happens, Barney like is mid jump towards the window.
And you just and, like transform and like actually just like fall down the side of his wall and go prone, and now you're not just looking at it, and he's like holding like the fur in his hand that he's holding just like turns into like your yellow golden hair, like a few strands of your hair, and you can just like it feels like someone just pulled like some hair out of your head, and you're like a little bit as you're like laying on the ground, and you look up and you see the time and you're what?
And before it
And
gets
the rest
too
of you in the other
crazy,
group like hear this.
Yeah, I was
what
about to
do you
say,
want
do we all
I
hear
will-
this?
I'm gonna cast Charm Person on him.
do?
Oh, shit.
That's a 13 Wisdom save.
Okay, cool. It's not wise. Let me give him a -1.
God.
I rolled a natural 2.
Oh
Hey.
jeez.
So I'm
He's
gonna
like,
Charm
what?
Person.
Going? And then just like goes silent as your spell like hits him. And he goes, "Oh, are you okay?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. That was a bit of a doozy. I'm not even
Here, let me
sure.
give you a hand.
Oh,
Here,
thank you so
help you up."
much.
So you guys just heard from the other office. What is going?
I'm gonna rush out there and see and open the door.
Yeah.
You open the door to his office, and you see the townmaster like helping Bernie up off the floor and like dusting her off a little bit. It's like, "Are you sure you're not hurt? I'm so sorry. Oh, here, I think these are yours," and like hands her back like 3 strands of her hair that are in his palm.
You know, it's so funny. Yeah, I was just here. I was looking at some of these books on your shelf, but I guess I'm not really sure what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. Do you want to borrow some of them?
I
Do
would
you want
love
to just take
to.
them?
Yeah, if I could.
Yeah, here, have this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
sure.
you so much.
Oh,
What's your
wait,
favorite?
I needed to talk to a friend of mine about something.
I
What
heard
what
about
would you?
that.
I'm sorry. What were you asking me? What's my favorite? Oh,
Uh,
this one's really good. This one's called Tusk's Love. Um, and um,
uh,
it's just a fun read. You don't have to think too hard when you read it. You know, it's
oh,
that kind of book.
fantastic. Oh, I love a good erotic fantasy, if that's what you're talking about. Something to really take me out of my brain.
It's what I didn't get that from this. It's it might have some elements of that, but I wouldn't say that's like at the forefront. This charmed
Well,
person, do they know they're charmed when this ends?
it does. So it lasts for an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine. We can talk for a long time. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I had to make a phone call though. Hold on. Can we? I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude. Can we do this later? I have to finish this. I have
Absolutely,
I
but
have
I have to ask.
Soundmaster, you know,
Can I help you out?
and no, I don't think I need. No, you don't worry yourself with this.
Oh, fair
This
enough.
is stuff you
How
don't
kind of you. Might I
It's so
ask,
boring. It was
uh,
so boring.
friend to friend, what is that stone that you're holding?
Oh, this one.
Oh,
Roll
it
me a
seems magical.
persuasion check.
Okay. I do. Do I get advantage? Hang on.
So Clinton and I are just watching
And
this
you and
interaction.
Dominic, you open the door and you're seeing all of this. You're seeing like this man kind of eating out of Bernie's hand.
Yeah.
17.
Oh, it's okay. It's kind of this cool little thing. So if I speak into it, my friends can hear what I have to say, and then they can send me a message back. And as he says that, you hear, "Harbin, I swear to God, this better be fucking good. My guys are on their way. If you're wasting their time, it's your ass."
Shit.
Oh, it seems like there is somebody at the other end. Is that
So
is that
that's
your
my
friend?
friend. That's my friend, and
Your friend
it sounds like they're on their way. So
for a party? For a
you
party
you
or
should probably stay
yeah?
and be here when that happens because they terrify me, and I don't want to be alone for that. So since you're my friend, my best friend in the whole world, will you stay with me? Will you stay here with me? Because I am so scared of those people.
Oh, we talked about this though, right? I can't. I've got so many things that I've got to do for
Kitland,
today.
who,
Gotta go see the
Dominic, you're
doctor.
hearing all of this. Sildar's like, "What's going on over there? Wait, who's coming over here?"
Barney, could you ask those people not to come, or have him ask them not to come? Say it's all
Sildar,
good.
it seems that the Red Brands might be coming here
going?
sooner than later.
Might I ask, friend, why are they coming? Is there a party to be had?
No, they're coming because I don't like Sildar. He's coming in here and he's doing my job for me, and he's doing it in a way that makes me look really incompetent and bad at it, and I don't like him for that, and I'm angry at him.
Mm.
So that's why I talked to them. Man, this feels really good to talk about with someone.
It's good to get things off our chest.
Maybe if I just talked about it with someone, I wouldn't have been so angry and actually talked to Kiernan because that never makes things better. But I was just so mad at Sildar because he's such a doo head.
It can be tough.
Sildur's like right there, like in the door, like what that's not cool.
It's not very nice.
How about this, my friend?
Bernie,
Yes.
Bernie, let's wrap it up and stop torturing the man. I think we need to deal with the fact that we've got these mercenaries on the way.
That's very true. If you want to, you can just hand me that rock, and we'll take care of We'll take care of all the logistics behind their visit if you want, and that way you can just kind of go
Roll.
about your day.
Roll me one more persuasion check.
Okay, cool. Sweet. 19.
Nice.
He hesitates. I don't know if he'd like that, but if you had it, then I don't have to talk to him anymore.
That's right.
And he just slowly hands it over, and like Frodo not wanting to drop the one ring, quivers for a moment and then lets it go into your palm, and you get 1/2 of a sending stone.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
It was such a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm just gonna walk out the door and follow them out.
You walk out of the office. Sildar has all of you guys here, and he's like, "All right, well that went weird, but not that unproductive."
I'm gonna-
Any ideas?
about an hour. He's gonna know in about an hour that the cast that on him. So let's be
Well,
smart.
It seems that the mercenaries are coming here, and if you're not wanting casualties, we need to get all of these workers out of here.
That's a good idea. Everybody get out of the building right now or you're gonna die. Sildar just shouts out loud, and you see all of the clerks just stop writing and look, and he's like, "I'm not kidding," and they just get out, just immediately just start to pile out and leave. It's already been a weird day for them. They just heard their boss get chewed out, and the man who said it said, "If you don't leave, you're gonna die." They're not taking any chances, and they just make a beeline to the door. And Sildar says, "All right, well now that that's dealt with, let's deal with Harbin. Do any of you happen to have any rope on you?"
Yes, I have some in my patch, and I'll give
Let's
him.
go ahead and get him tied up so it can't be any more of a problem.
All right, yeah.
Bernie, you're more than welcome to hang on to that sending stone, but I'll take it if you don't want it.
Well, to be fair, I'm not quite sure what good it would do for us. So I looked to Kitland and Domik. I think for now it's better in its hands. Yeah.
Agreed. If we find the other half, we can use it for our own means. But as of right now, it doesn't do us any good.
That's a good deal. All right, we find the other half, then you have to give it back.
All right.
And I'll hand it over.
And he'll
And I think the
hold
other
his hand
half is
out
on its
and
way.
takes it.
It seems that way.
You're not wrong. We should go ahead and start preparing. Domik, get the town master tied up if you can. Everybody else,
Bernie, are you able to wild shape anymore today?
let's keep the.
I could maybe. Yeah, I think I could probably do it one more time.
How much more
I
time?
think we should try to keep any conflict inside this building. So it might be best to just let them come in, come to the town master, and then we'll deal with them.
I agree, but we are down one, and I think Staris would be nice in a pinch if. My plan is what I'm thinking is possibly Bernie wild shape again, climb out the window and go get Staris, and come and pincer move when they get in the building. You guys can come in behind them.
Oh, I see. Well, would it be okay if because at this point we're in a different room, right? Could I just walk out the front and go get Staris? Or would that be
Yeah, you could absolutely you just saw all the workers go right out the front door.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna take that cue and agreed, Dom. I think we need Staris. I'll go grab her. I'll be back in a jiff. And then I'm gonna run out and go get Staris.
Okay.
All right.
Bernie, you take off.
I'm gonna get to a better position.
All right.
Cool.
I want to go out the front door as
So-
well.
Okay.
All right. I'll start working on tying up Harbin.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there a
Dom,
stone
you go to-
chimney on the top of this, on the roof?
There. Roll me a perception check. Doris, your bubbles are gone.
No.
Oh no!
Not the
Oh,
bubbles.
perfect timing.
Bubble, 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 bubble. So Joe looks like he rolled a 13.
Yeah, 13. Sorry.
Cool, thank you. Cool, yeah, you are able to get outside. You don't see any chimneys. You do see, um, so again, it's like a pretty big open floor plan, like barn-like building. It was meant to, kind of be open more for the public, but instead it's been turned into like this, kind of open air workspace where all the clerks are forced to work in like this big open part of the building. And then there's a few offices in the back. Um, and it is 2 stories. So there is like a stair and like an upstairs pathway that leads to the upstairs offices. But from outside, it's kind of a big, just nondescript building. Um, it wasn't built with a lot of those like furnishings in mind because it was meant to be more of like a official place and less of like a place to like be homey at.
Okay. Is it like a triangle roof?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take out my grappling hook that Koo gave me and throw that up on the roof and try to get it stuck on the top of that triangle.
Cool. Roll me an athletics check. Bernie, as you make it to the inn, you see um walking from the eastern end of town, from where you know the other end, the sleeping giant, and to be, you see like these 4 individuals just walking through the street. And as they make their way through the street, you see people just like getting out of the way, immediately going home, shutting their doors, closing the windows, just getting out of these people's way as they walk just shoulder to shoulder, four across the street, like they own the town. They're all wearing studded leather armor. They all have various blades and weaponry on themselves. And as they get close enough to pass you, you can see that each one of them wears a brand under their right eye. As you make your way into the inn to go find Staris.
Okay. I'm just booking
Kitlins,
it.
what did you roll?
An 11.
11. Sorry, what I cut you off, Bernie. What did you say?
Oh no. I was just saying I'm just booking it. But yeah.
Yeah, you get in and you can find Staris pretty quickly. I think she's like you're like just now finishing your bath. Staris.
I like burst in the door and like, get out! Come on! You look beautiful. Let's go.
Oh, what's going on?
There's dogs. The red. What's the call it? They're here. They're attacking the town. The leader, he's bad. I throw like your clothes at you.
Nice. Like, okay, all right, I'm coming. Starts to put clothes on her body.
Dress, yeah. Put everything on quickly. You got your like loot in your mouth as you're, getting your boots on. And you guys hustle to try and get out of there. Kitlin, you heave the grappling hook as high as you can, and you're able to get it on the roof, but it doesn't quite find purchase as it slides off and thuds to the ground.
Okay. Can I try again? Or how does...
We'll say that that's like your role. That's your effort, right? For trying that. So you gotta Try something else. Get the grappling hook's not going to work.
How about the roof of the store I've been going to over here? What does that
Try
look
and
like
get on
over here?
that roof from the other. Yeah, I'll say that you can. You see like a couple of barrels that you can kind of climb on, and then maybe reach the top of the roof to get advantage from over there. Um, Ku and Domik and Sildar. Um, you guys are kind of in the building. Domik, you've just finished tying up Harbin. Um, Sildar says he kind of sees like Kitland run out and says, "Look, I would have preferred to keep the fight inside here, away from the civilians, but what's done is done." And he looks to you, Domik and Ku. Well, gentlemen, plans? And also, does anyone have a weapon? Because I seem to have left mine in my other pants.
Oh no.
How good are you with a crossbow?
Uh, Better than I am without a crossbow.
All right, I'm gonna hand in my crossbow and crossbow bolts.
He
And I'll
takes
give him
it,
a
and you
dagger.
see he has to kind of like he kind of has to like mount it on his like bad wrist, and like it takes an effort to cock it back, but he does seem to know what he's doing. He takes the dagger, he puts it in his belt. Bernie Staris, you're finally dressed. You're making your way out of the inn. But the Red Brands have gotten ahead of you, and Kitland, you can actually see the Red Brands are starting to make their way like down the road as you get onto like one of the lower roofs of the Lion Shield Coster. You're not all the way up yet. Roll me a stealth check as you see they kind of like turn the corner and they're walking not like right at you, but in the direction where they could see you, and you have to kind of get low.
Uh, it's an 8.
Hmm?
Nate. Okay. Staris and Bernie, you make your way out of the inn and you like kind of take a few steps out and you can see the red brands are ahead of you and they're like getting ready to turn the corner to the entrance of or like turn the corner of the road to where you would get to the town master's um fuck, what am I saying? The town master hall. So Kitlin, you see them, they're walking towards you and they're about to like turn the corner. Are you doing anything from up here?
Did they see me with that 8?
It doesn't appear so.
I mean, we were instructed to kill them. This is the this is the front door, right?
Let me look at what you're looking at.
Sorry,
The front door is right here.
Yeah, okay, cool.
No,
If
it's right here.
it,
Yeah, so they have to like come down this path and then like turn here. So you like scrambled onto this little roof right here, or we'll say like scrambled onto like this roof right here. They just came down the road and they're like kind of turning right here right now, and it seems like they're like turning like away from you to go down this road.
can I get to this? Okay, so the front entrance is on the south side, right there.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, can I get to the taller part of the roof with some cover, like a bit easier?
You can roll me an athletics check. Bernie and Stars, what are you guys doing as you see these ruffians ahead of you?
Yeah.
Dear.
Trying to remember what
Yeah,
God, I cannot
Damn,
remember
Joe.
names tonight.
yeah, +6 for a 9.
Oh,
No. Remember what Sildar said as I was leaving, how he said, I want to try and contain this to the house. I'm just going to kind of like place a hand on Stars's shoulder as we're kind of rushing towards the house and just softly like turn to her and Sildar was saying that he doesn't want the civilians involved. I think that maybe we should try and play it cool until we get inside. What do you think?
Got it.
And then just slow it down a little bit, so it doesn't look like we're rushing at them.
Okay.
But
Just
still,
Cool.
take an
Just trying to
extra
play it cool and like walk
Yeah.
that way.
walking
And you
that way,
see like everyone else has cleared out. Like this square had a
Mhm.
few people in it just a minute ago, and as they've made their way through, like everyone has like cleared out. So you just like are trying to play it cool, go unnoticed. You see them turn almost out of eye shot and like start to casually follow ahead. Um, uh, uh, so Sildar gets across, but he goes behind one of the desks and takes cover and has it pointed at the door. Dominic, Ku, are you guys trying to position yourselves up in any kind of way? There's a few desks. There's a second level that's about like 40 feet away from the door, give or take.
I'm
Cool.
up there.
Cool, can you get to the top? I'm gonna flip one of the desks over. Maybe two of the desks. I'm gonna flip them
You
over.
take one of the desks, take two of the desks on the opposite side. Sildar goes ahead and pushes his over, kind of grunts with effort as he does it, and gets the crossbow up on top. Bunch of papers go everywhere. Kitland, you see the red band start to make their way to the entrance of the door. Do you want to do anything before they attempt to go inside?
I'm gonna just hold an action
Oh,
for.
oh, with the
Yeah.
9 on your athletics check, right? You like reach up and go to climb, and it's a little too high for you, and you like struggle to pull yourself up, and you actually like lose your handing, and you fall back down with like a loud thud. You know they heard you. But you were able to kind of like pick yourself up, and you see that they're like at the door, like getting ready to knock on it.
Okay.
And in fact, like with that loud thud, you see one in the back is kind of just like looking at you, just like shaking their head.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what I'm up to, right? Uh, I mean, I guess if he's looking at me, I would take the shot, but otherwise, like if he turns back to go into the place, then I'll just hold an action until the door is open.
They're literally looking right at you. You've fallen like prone and have like rolled over and like gotten back up, so you're like not prone anymore. But as you get back up and like look towards them, you see the like last one in the line is looking right at you and shaking their head, like smooth move.
Okay.
Way to go, old man.
How many of? I mean, is it like a big enough doorway that all 4 of them could go in at once, or are they gonna have to go in single file?
Like it would be like maybe like 2 could kind of squeeze in. Like it's a pretty decent size like double faced like wooden door. It does have like some ornate showiness to it being a public building. But not all 4 of them could go in at once. So it would be like 2 and 2. Um, and as you square that up, the one in front, knock, 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 knock on the front door.
I'm just gonna stand back up, and I'll pull out my hammer and then just pretend that I'm nailing shingles into the roof.
You see the one who's like looking at you is like still kind of watching you as the first person goes to like knock again. Knock, 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 knock. Bernie and Stars, you're getting a little bit closer. You're about to round the road now. Goes to knock a third time, and the person next to him just like slaps their chest, like, "Hey, knock it off," and just goes to the door and opens it. That's where we're gonna end our session.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
Nice.
fantastic.
I love it.
That's
All right.
great.
Whoa.
Woo! Great
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Man,
You turned into a cat.
You did. Woo!
I'm a kitty cat, and I'm
That was
not
awesome.
meow.